Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. We are back to round 2 for this Sunday edition of the Afridamus Report, like I promised. So we are back to the conversation, and just like the title says, can a military coup happen in today's Nigeria? This is a good question because we left off at that. And in fact, you've heard some of the arguments that people like Mike were giving, saying, oh, this cannot happen. He takes everything, from his own point of view. I'll give you an example, because you see, some people, they like to go by their own sentiment, their tribal bias, their regional bias. But you see, me, I'm a realist. I look at people as people. Human beings are unpredictable. Sure, there are people who, they cannot see anything beyond their group. This is why I bring this conversation. So we would have the conversation, but I can make the argument again and repeat it time and time again. Nigeria had 14 different leaders who were soldiers, military. They came from the military. In fact, some of them, yes, I get it. People are gonna say, oh, they were dictators. Who taught you that? Right? Who taught you that idea? But we cannot deny that Nigeria, in fact, laid the blueprint in Africa, not only West Africa, Africa, for military coups. This is a fact. No one can deny this. So when people try to say, for example, oh, there can never be a coup in Nigeria, are you kidding me? Let me give you an example. Egypt. Do you know Egypt? They never had a civilian leader. They have the strongest military. They have generals. They have hierarchies. They have the money. But do you know that Al-Sisi, he came there through a coup? But I get it. Most of you, it doesn't count if, for example, if America or the West doesn't deny it. So I took the time, like after I finished the show earlier, in fact, I found a discussion. This is very interesting, a discussion, a short video where I'm talking Nigerians that have common sense, right? Having the discussion And it so happened they are talking about a former leader, General Ibrahim Babangida, giving his own synopsis, meaning his own take on the current situation. It's very interesting. So this coup thing, this is not a new thing in Africa. Yes, every now and again you get some who one can say they did not succeed. But what is your definition of success? That's what I want to know. Yes, I want to know that. Yeah, there are some leaders who they came through coup. Most people will not even talk about them. They only see their atrocities, right? Some came through bloody coups and they died through that. I'll give you an example. Like Samuel Doe of Liberia. When he came in through a bloody coup. Like he lined up the people, took them out, and he left the world through that same faith. But he was able to rule for some time, right? But even him, he had ideas. The same discussion we were having here, because what motivated the Liberian people at the time? I'll give you an example. It was because the people were hungry. At the time, their president that was in charge, because this was a dynasty, like it was the blacks that came from America. So they ruled the place for over 100 years. But eventually, because some people like to make it seem like it's an ethnic thing. No, it's not. Again, it was about food because the government at the time, put a lot of tariffs on rice importation. The people didn't want to go work in the farm. They want the government to take care of them. In fact, I have a clip here of Samuel Doe, you know, talking about this. Some of you would think Samuel Doe never had idea. But where did Samuel Doe's coup ideas come from? The blueprint. Guess what? Nigeria. Of course, because people learn from Nigeria. They are the big boys in West Africa. Let me play Samuel Doe for you. Those of you that are not familiar with Samuel Doe, he's going to be talking about farming. He was smart. He was trying to kick hunger out because he knew when the people, you get them to be hungry, whoever is in charge, if they become hungry, guess what? They're going to turn against you. So in order for him to succeed, the people were hungry. So that's why he tried to get the people to go back and work in the farms so they can produce rice. Here, I found a short clip of him, Samuel Doe of Liberia. Even though this is about Nigeria, we'll come to that. But this is Samuel Doe. Let me do my disclaimer here, my fair use disclaimer before we get into that.
People in Monrovia, they don't want to work on the farm, so our people begin, reluctant. They all, depend on Pusawa. So the only thing to do is to continue to appeal to our people that to grow food, is good, and so we should continue to encourage them to until we can realize that the food is important for any development. Without food, nothing you can do. Even if you get money, if you can't get rice to buy, I bet you now in Monrovia, no rice. You can take your pay. You can't eat $5 coin. Nothing you can do it. And so it's better that we produce food so that we can be able to support other nations as well. But we should not depend on Pusawa every time.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they have.
Did you guys see that? That was Samuel Doe from Liberia when he took over. How did Samuel Doe, how did his coup succeed? Because the Liberian people at the time, the food was expensive. Rice became expensive. They put rice tax on them. Just like you seeing those people complain. And people didn't think a system that was in place, that was there for 140 years, would ever be toppled. You guys have no idea what people are willing to do when you starve them. I don't think you have any clue. So 14 leaders of Nigeria, they were all military. Ibrahim Babangida, he served for 8 years. That is 2 terms under the Constitution of Nigeria. I get it. Some people might feel like, oh, he's not from my region. He's not from my tribe. But that's not always a reality. Humans connect on the same conditions they have sometimes. Many a times even. So that's the reality. So you got to, put that at the back of your head. So today we are going to debunk Mike's argument, trying to say none of these people succeeded, they weren't in power. I don't understand how long he wanted these people to be in power. You see? So basically you see it. The blueprint for coups came from Nigeria. It's a fact. So how can one all of a sudden come and be like, oh man, these people that invented this, they were so good at this game. Yes, I get it. They've been stable for a while now. But you see what they did? They tricked us. They had to bring back the people that did the coup in the past. And they're like, oh, you know what? Now he's not going to wear a military uniform. Just let him wear, one of those big gowns, the abayas. We'll pretend they are civilians. What makes one a civilian or a soldier? So Nigerians themselves, they love these generals. They love them. Let me play a conversation here. The same conversation that we were having here. Some of you might think this is silly, but I'm going to play this. This is a broadcast, Nigerians having this conversation about what former president who once did a coup in Nigeria and served for 8 years, which is Ibrahim Babangida. He's 82 years old. So they are going to discuss his statement that he made from his observation. Don't take it from me, okay? Let's hear what these people are going to say. Here we go.
Unexpected message from the former military administrator Ibrahim Babangida, and he's saying that if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not careful, there'll be a military takeover. What's your take on that?
Did you guys hear this? This is coming from a former general, Ibrahim Babangida, who came to power, who ruled Nigeria for 8 years successfully. So I was not understanding the argument that was being pushed here. Oh, they were not there forever. What does forever even mean? What is the timeline? What is your definition of forever? It don't matter how good someone is or things are. The party sometimes has to come to an end. So if the party comes to an end, that doesn't mean you never enjoyed the party. You see? So let us continue here.
Hey, sir, the chickens are coming home to roost. Did I not tell you that Tinubu is in hostage? He's being held in bondage.
Why would you say you keep saying he's in hostage, but did he not know most?
You notice what this man, the terminology he used here? He said chickens are coming home to roost. He believes Tinubu is a hostage. Maybe there's a reason why, because the Nigerian, it seems like only a military minded person, military is the only one that can rule Nigeria properly. See, when Buhari was in Buhari, who back in the days, he was a military man, and during those years he even became president, despite earlier Mike was trying to mislead you guys. He ruled twice. Okay? So now the chaos, I notice whenever they have these civilians, there's so much chaos. Not that I'm encouraging any shenanigans, but it's right in front of us. Let's just call it what it is. Okay? MS Delta, thank you for the super chat. That's right. I'm going to keep cooking. Thank you for that super chat. Okay, here we go. Let's hear what I'm talking sensible Nigerian, what he is saying. Did I show you guys the news clip where they said, oh, the military, they suspect them of trying to, do a coup. So you mean to tell me someone who enjoys hamburgers, now, they know what hamburger tastes like. They know how to make hamburger. They have the knowledge. Oh, just because they told you, oh, now you know what? We are vegans. We no longer eat hamburgers. Doesn't mean they don't know how to make hamburgers. Sure, the person can be a vegan, but I can assure you, if they become hungry, you put them in the kitchen and the only thing there is beef patties or even ground beef, they know how to turn that into patty, cook it, put some cheese on it. Okay? That is my whole point. Babangida, who knows the conditions that lead to the military stepping in, made a statement at age 82.
These challenges when he said he wanted to be the president.
Wait, they led a minefield for Tinubu. You can see all the local leaders who could not talk when Buhari was there. You can see how they are now breathing down on the neck of Tinubu. Unfortunately, his kinsmen cannot even rise up to the occasion.
A couple of his kinsmen are actually chastising him.
Who are who?
They're chastising him. They're complaining.
They cannot defend him. No. Because when Buhari was there, he was the one that created this problem for him. Everything that Tinubu is doing in office now was created by Buhari. Meanwhile, nobody has been able to call Buhari out. That is why I'm worried. I am so, in fact, I'm disappointed by local leaders telling us that it is not their coup, this and that. Why did they carry that coup when Buhari was there? Look at all the things Buhari did in office. Esther, don't look at, you can see that we are.
So, what this man is saying, does this sound familiar, guys? Remember in the earlier stream, Kidola, who lives in Nigeria, Kidola, he knows what's going on in his country. Didn't he mention something similar to what this man is saying? But no, these people came, they jumped on his throat talking, this is the problem. Kidola, you shouldn't be, trying to make this a North and a South thing. But yet, when you listen to some of these people, that's the same thing they are saying. Guys, please make sure you like and share this stream, so the rest of the crew can be aware that we are here. We are on. So remember, he said Abacha was dumb. He wasn't smart whatsoever, because he was in the military, blah, blah, blah. I hardly have seen a person become the leader of a coup in Africa, even that you could say this person is dumb. Yes, you might say you don't like them, but to say that they are dumb, I highly doubt that. Let me show you one of the people that they said is a brutal dictator, General Sani Abacha. Let me play, you know, a little snippet speech. He's giving a speech as the president of Nigeria. He wasn't pretending. It's not like he got on a costume. It wasn't Halloween. He was, in fact, the president that served for many, many years. Yes, I get it. Some people weren't happy with the way things went, but that's not what the conversation is about. So let me show you guys, Abacha in the physical form giving speech, just like I showed you Samuel Doe. Here we go.
Nigeria is the only country we have. We must therefore solve our problems ourselves. We must lay a very solid foundation for the growth of true democracy. We should avoid any ad hoc or temporary solutions. The problems must be addressed firmly, objectively, decisively, and with all sincerity of heart.
Did you guys hear that? So, sure, you can disagree. No part of his speech, when do research, none of them said we want to be over here for 100 years. Okay, the man, like, we cannot go back in time and try to redo history. This already happened. It already happened. Jamal Yee, thank you for your comment. Jamal said, keep telling the blacks or Africans the truth. We Somalis support you, brother. Guys, you see, I told you guys, like, even though sometimes you see some of the Somalis that came and would come and disagree, but it's not everyone that disagrees. He said, no victim, low self-esteem baboons allowed in Afridamus report. If you don't want to compete with the rest of the world, stay in your village. Like, hey, Jamal, you couldn't have said it any better. So now what I will do is, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. Just as I promised, I am going to drop the link and allow the panel to come in. Okay? So those of you that are ready to come and challenge this, combat it, the link is in the chat. Please make sure you hit the link and come join the conversation. Okay? Guys, can you imagine? What is Mike? Make sure if you're watching, do not pretend like you are not here. Hit that link. The link is in the chat right now. Come on in. In fact, I'm like, you know what? Some of Nigeria's best presidents were the people that came in through the coup. Isn't that amazing? Some of their best leaders came in as military, quote unquote, dictators. So we have Judah in the house. Even though I think Judah missed the first one, but he is here. Judah, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Oh yes, Freedom was a great topic. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing well. Judah, earlier, I don't know if you had the opportunity to catch some of the stream from earlier, but I was talking about the situation in Chad, your next door neighbors. Are you aware of the young Debbie, deleting his opposition?
Yeah, he just declared that he's gonna stand in as the next president. He has declared his candidature to run
Yeah.
as president of
So,
Chad.
so
Yeah.
like we kept moving on, and we touched, I've touched the news. I've showed the clip. They said there's like rumor mill about, they think that the military in Nigeria planning on removing Tinubu, and they showed the people there's the economic condition is dire. But we had Mike, he came up here, he said it's not possible ever for a coup to take place in Nigeria. I said Nigeria already had 14 out of their leaders, 14 of them they all came in through a coup. So, Judah, your understanding of how coups work in Africa, is it possible for a coup to take place in today's Nigeria?
Um, the way Nigeria is structured right now, I think since 1999, if I'm not mistaken, when Obasanjo took over from maybe Abdul Salami, if I'm not mistaken. I think ever since then, we have not seen a coup in Nigeria. Because when Obasanjo came, I think he came in as a democratic leader. So ever since then, we have gotten Obasanjo did 8 years in power from 1999. I think when he left, Musa Yaradua came in, and Musa Yaradua, I think he died in power. I think he did probably 2 years, and then Goodluck Jonathan took over. Goodluck Jonathan came in and they finish Musa Yaradua's tenure, and then ran for another uh, tenure and won. And then I think we have Buhari, and now we have Tinubu. So
Tinubu.
yeah, so from the proceedings of things, you have kind of see that they have changed from that coup d'etat period where we have people like even when you talk of Babangida who did 8 years, but when Babangida resigned, I think you have this guy like Adengule that came in before Adengule could even make probably like how many months Sani Abacha overthrew him and took power. And then Sani Abacha died, and then you have all these Ado Salami. So that period of I think coup d'etat is over in Nigeria, if you ask me. It seems like even if a president is not really performing, it's just gonna be talk, talk, talk. Because even when Buhari was in power, they say it was gonna be a coup d'etat that's gonna take him out of power, and it did not happen. So Nigeria has kind of built that kind of a democratic environment or change of presidents in since during the time of Obasanjo. So I don't really think coup d'etat might be proceedings in Nigeria as we speak. I don't.
But
It
but
might not
but
be.
Judah, like usually coup d'etats, they just don't happen just out of the blue. Like the conditions of the country dictates
Yeah, the
some
conditions. Yeah, we have seen
conditions of the people, because
the conditions of
because
the
the
people.
military, they study, they go by the sentiment of the population.
Yeah, they go by the sentiment, but this is not the first time Nigeria is experiencing a lot of problems in Nigeria right now. Doing even under the Buhari regime, it was even people were saying it was worse, but because Tinubu came in, they are now saying Buhari's own was better. So even Goodluck Jonathan period when Boko Haram was taking over Nigeria, they say he wasn't even gonna finish his tenure. So even during Obasanjo, so they have not been, it has always been talking, talking, talking. But a coup d'etat, the way the military is divided between South, North, everybody is including them. So I don't really see a coup d'etat forthcoming. But if a coup d'etat comes in Nigeria, I don't pray for it because it might be so chaotic, and the population increase in Nigeria might spill into other neighboring countries as well.
Right.
You might have effect in Cameroon,
So
Niger.
so you are saying Nigeria is literally coup proof, like.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I think they have passed. I think they have passed the moment of course. I think they need people to fix it. Even if things are not fixed, it seems like they have to just bail. Take it out and wait for the next leader to come in. But I don't see a coup happening
But
in Nigeria
Judah,
as
let
we
me
speak.
give you an example, like Egypt, right?
Right.
They have, we would say they are a lot more structured, their military is strong. But the guy there right now, Al Sisi, he did a coup, and the guy before him did a coup. They pretty much have all military leaders throughout.
Yeah, when Al-Sisi came in power, he came into a coup, and
Yes,
the guy that was there,
Mubarak.
Mubarak, I think he was there for like how many years in power? Probably 20 something years, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
He overstayed his welcome in Egypt. But when Al-Sisi came in power, he is now building a new capital city, New Cairo.
Oh,
He's doing a
you
lot of.
know what's his name did the same thing. Abacha built Abuja.
Yeah, Abacha built Abuja, but Abacha wasn't so democratic enough. He before he started on Abuja, there was a lot of proceedings, killings, and all. People were memed in public and all this stuff. So I don't see Al Sisi doing that stuff. Al Sisi is coming in as a democratic leader, a leader who could actually do one-on-one conversation with other foreign countries. But Abacha wasn't so versed with international laws and stuff like that. So even his own people in his cabinet did not trust him. So I kind of heard that he was poisoned. I mean, he only ruled
Right.
Nigeria for 5 years, and and
Hey,
died at the age of 50. You know,
that's 5 years too long.
yeah, but died at the age of 54. At that point in time, that's when most presidents are getting to their prime of ruling. So yeah, like you cannot compare Al Sisi to Abacha. Abacha was he had no clue about running a country. All what he was doing was military enforcement and stuff. So yeah, Al Sisi is more intelligent. He's building a new Cairo city. Most Egyptians are happy with Al Sisi, but I don't think he's gonna run in for another term. I think he's gonna do his tenure and then leave and give room for others to rule in Egypt. So.
So what I'm gathering from you is you're saying, okay, despite the chaos, what it's looking like in Nigeria, it will never come to the point of where they're like, okay, you know what? Let's just pull a coup and remove Tinubu. You're saying the country is a lot more stable than that.
Yeah, it's a little more stable. The capital city have been moved to Abuja. Places have been built. Back then when the presidency was in Lagos, it was so tied up in such a way where a president can be cornered and a coup d'etat happens. But it has been moved to Abuja. People have become more intelligent and educated. And
Huh.
most of them are now, yeah. So a lot of things has changed. You cannot compare the time of coup d'etats in Nigeria to the time now. A lot of, I mean, like you say, poverty back then was at its prime. Everybody wanted to rule. But now it's not the case. So yeah, a lot of governors have aroused. Countries have been structured. 36 states. It wasn't like that before. Most of the time, it was regions and all of that. So there's actually a breakdown into the political system. So everyone is occupied in some form or shape in Nigeria as compared to that period of time. You cannot compare Nigeria to, say, Liberia or to Chad or to I mean, Chad population is like 17 million, if I'm not mistaken. They have
But
a small.
Chad is next door to you. Do
Yeah,
you
it's
guys
also
have
next.
any sort of relationship to where like
Um,
your country Cameroon, because you guys are in the Central Africa next door to each other?
it's also
Any
next door to.
hmm?
It's also next door to Nigeria, so they share border with Nigeria in the northeast.
Right.
But Chad is a country where Cameroon do not really rely on Chad for I might say anything, maybe just to secure probably the border, because Chad is also one of the strongest countries when it comes to military might in Africa. So and during this period, Sudanese have been flooding into Chad. Into the Republic of Chad. If you go and watch videos on YouTube, you see how the refugees fleeing Sudan war, they have stable themselves in Chad, and now Chad is facing problem of food insecurity. The food that
But
is being
that
supplied.
is what is happening in Nigeria. The people are
Right,
complaining.
right, and
And
it's also
Judah,
happening.
when people are hungry,
Yeah, when
they
people
are
when people are
unpredictable.
hungry, they go. Yeah, when people are hungry, they go on the street. Like I said, even in Cameroon, where we have all this hunger, you go on the street, you cannot take out Paul beer. Like I said, there are
But
certain things that have been
Judah, is it possible maybe because I don't think Cameroon would be a good example because Paul Biya has been there forever. The people complain, they never made any move. It seems like, right?
It's not about complaining. Yeah, I mean, most of the time we watch politics from outside, so we actually don't know what the people have gone through. We actually don't know when the
Okay,
people have gone on the street. A lot of Cameroonians have gone on the street several times, but they have been memed and shattered. Even people are still in jail, so it scared people out. And this is what most of these dictators they use. Like I was talking in the sense of Chad right now.
right,
If I mean the way I see Chad, I don't even see this Idris Deby Jr. Staying for power, because if he wins because the prime minister of Chad as we speak was the biggest opposition leader during the time
right,
of his father. He escaped to United States. He's a young guy, probably in his 40s. Then when his son came in power, he invited him to come to Nigeria, to Chad, for a power share. So the guy that was even killed was his own cousin. The opposition
right,
leader was his
right,
own cousin.
right.
So um uh so it's gonna be more chaos if K is not taken in Chad. And that's one country that if it destabilizes, then Nigeria and other countries close to it will face a lot of problems, because right now as we speak, Niger is not part of the ECOWAS. So, and
Well,
Chad and
they
Niger
lifted
share
the
border.
sanction. You know what, Judah? I have to say, you actually made a lot more comprehensive. Like you explained it better. Because earlier the conversation, sometimes others were veering off saying, "Oh, the coup cannot happen in Nigeria. They based it on tribal thing," but
Oh
I
no.
like I like what you based it on solely on the structural rearrangement of the country. But
Right.
you just made a point here because if you look at it, with Chad, because for me, I was like, okay, maybe Chad is isolated, pushed towards Sudan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cameroon probably like Paul Biya don't want to deal with that. He's got his own problems. Like
Right.
he's not gonna talk about he is against
No, no.
against
Cameroon
this
don't
man
talk.
getting rid
No.
of the opposition, right?
Right.
And so the child becoming destabilized, right? All these shenanigans happening, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, they don't want to be a part of ECOWAS anymore. So that diminishes ECOWAS's power. Um, so, I mean, I don't want that to happen, but if Chad continues on the path they are on, they become destabilized, and with the condition of Nigeria, do you foresee this spilling over?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, Chad military at one point in time was the one that even helped Nigerians to calm down on Boko Haram stuff. So if care is not taken, if this guy is overthrown, this leader right now, and then that
Who you
whole
talking
region,
about? The
the
Debbie, young
Debbie,
Debbie?
yeah, the young Debbie, if he's overthrown, and then it's just gonna be chaotic right now. That's why when I talk to Nigerians, most of them are short-sightedness, especially when it comes to country's politics. They just believe that everything's centered about Nigeria, but if there's a problem in another African country, it will cause a lot of chaotic, especially when there's insecurity issues in alarming rate in Nigeria and all these things. So, and another policy that Paul Biya has actually done in Cameroon is, despite the fact that Cameroon is like the big guy in the Central African region, in the Central CEMAC, they call it CEMAC, because DRC
Yeah.
Congo joined
How
it.
strong? Because how strong is that organization? Because I mentioned that because the RC Congo
Yeah,
also
they
is
joined. They
they
joined.
are not stable. They would not have the
But
time to try to do peace talks.
yeah, but they not. I mean, they could not take the level of Cameroon, so they had to join East African Union. and
Wait,
even Angola.
but they are central.
Yeah, they are central, but they join East African Union, so they are part of the East African Union. You look. I mean, just the fact that you are in a region does not mean that you have to join the union. We have gotten
Right,
countries like
like
Mauritania.
Mauritania. Mhm.
Mauritania is in West Africa, but they walked out of it, so they are not in the
And now
West
Burkina Faso,
ECOWAS. And now Burkina Faso and Mali and all
Mali,
this, even
and
even Angola. If you look on the map of Africa, you could say Angola is in Central Africa, but they decide to join the South African. So this is the thing about. So in the Sema right now, the only big country that you have in the Sema region is Cameroon,
so
with a
is
bigger economy.
SIMA, the Central African
That's the
organization.
Central African
Is it a
economic.
lot?
Yeah.
Is that a lot? Like, are they much weaker than ECOWAS?
They are much weaker with ECOWAS, but at the same time, they operate individually. So if there's a coup d'etat in
Oh,
Gabon,
mhm.
I mean, none of these countries even open a mouth to say, "Oh, Gabon should reinstate their leader." Or I mean, so Paul Biya has come up with that kind of policy of non-interference. Your politics, your economic is on you, and then maybe when we want to come in and talk about a joint economy, then that's when everyone has a voice. But anything that happens in your country stays in your country. I'm not coming in to tell you who you're gonna elect. I'm not coming in to tell you why there was a coup d'etat in your country. That's not part of me. I also have my own country to run. There is no big brother. Or I mean, the Cameroon is their big brother, because if you see the way Cameroon is, most of their seaport from Central African Republic or Chad, they rely solely on Cameroon, and mostly when it comes to agricultural products as well, and maybe in electricity. But when it comes to say, oh, you have to elect this person, no. They don't have a voice. That's why you see most of the time, when things happen they don't call Cameroon, or because
Yeah,
their
I've
interference.
never. That's interesting. You said, like, I've never seen them call Cameroon.
Yeah, but because these countries are unstable, if you start involving in their politics and stuff, and then you might have spill over your country. So that's why people should be very careful. And that's why Nigeria is not doing that, because right now you have Niger problems and all of this. I was telling to a Nigeria that if K is not taken, if Niger has to experience a coup d'etat, and then the Fulani experience that you are having right now will even multiply, and Nigeria might not exist the next morning. So
Wait. You think Tinubu is in trouble?
oh yeah, the guy is just so. I will not. He focused more on his health. Than even focus more on the problems of Nigeria. He actually does not know what is actually going on in Nigeria. He cannot how can I say, he cannot break down the situations. He cannot break down the problems that Nigeria is actually experiencing. This is a guy that they say he built Lagos, and when he was coming in power, he said he's gonna build Nigeria overnight. But he is more talking than actually doing the implementations of what is happening in Nigeria. I don't see him running for another term. If he runs and he got elected, it means Nigerians have not really understood what they needed in life, and So actually, and I don't see Tinubu coming up with change in Nigeria. Most of the time they are presidents. Nigeria is that country where you could say they are educated, they are intelligent, but most of the time they are presidents that they have elected. If you look back at these presidents, you ask yourself if Nigeria is really that country of educated people. So it's rather unfortunate that we have a country called Nigeria, yet people cannot actually, neighboring countries cannot actually rely on them for peace and security, for food and a lot of things. So,
But Judith, do you think if we look at their history, Nigeria's history, because they had 14 different military rulers, some of them came back twice, right? First as
exactly.
military. So, would you say some of their best leaders they've had that kept stability, even though people didn't like them? Would you agree that they are military men?
Oh yeah, a guy like Babangida, who did 8 years in power, I think from 1985 to
3.
1993, or maybe if I'm not mistaken. And check doing these proceedings when Babangida even came in power. I think he came in power after when Buhari and took over a coup d'etat, or
In
if I'm not
fact, in fact,
mistaken.
Did you hear the video of that I played earlier about what Babangida said about Tinubu's government?
Yeah. I mean, most of the time they have said a lot of things about how he was gonna be overthrown or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that the video? Yeah, even when but I mean, he wasn't. So what I'm saying is, I mean, Babangida was a strong guy to have done 8 years in the middle of a coup d'etat country, and then resign, and then people coming in, and then Obasanjo came in as a former coup d'etat leader as well to do another 8 years, and then Buhari. So if my mind is not taken out of power, it kind of seems like the people that are doing 8 years in power are former leaders.
Former
Musa
military.
Yar'Adua, former military leader. Musa Yar'Adua, who was not even a military leader, I think it was his father that was in the military, died before he could even finish his first term in power. Good luck, Jonathan.
Do you suspect foul play?
I mean, if you ask me, I might say you never know. I mean, forensic did not come out. If Nigeria had forensic, I don't think they came up with what
But
actually killed them.
Judah,
But
isn't
good
that
luck, Jonathan.
interesting?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to give you the precedence. Good luck,
Mhm.
Jonathan, who wasn't a military leader, right? Because he was from the South, could not finish his own second term in power, right? They not overthrow. They claim he got defeated and stuff like that. So I'm actually seeing that if Tinubu actually do 8 years, it kind of tell me that the Yoruba people are more in connive with the Fulani people in Nigeria than the South and the Southeast. And that is a bigger issue because this guy is underperforming. This guy is not fit to be the president,
But
especially in the 21st
he
century.
just came in.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the 21st century, electing an 80-year-old man who is thinking of health issues, going to France all the time, every 1 month or every 2 months. In this century where there's a lot of problems, where you need people like young people to be talking about economy, talking about the changes, talking about the prospects, so it makes no sense. So if this guy actually do 8 years, then I'll be really surprised that Nigerians, the Fulanis, and the Yoruba people are the ones that are actually conniving for destabilizing of South and the Southeast Nigerians not to be presidents in that country or not to do actually 8 years in power.
So Judah, are you familiar with years ago when Sani Abacha was going to deal with Cameroon?
Oh yeah, but Sani Abacha was a small dog, I mean, when he was in power, I think Paul Biya was the one in power. I mean,
Yeah, well, Paul Biya has been there for a while.
Paul Biya has been there
He
for a
seems
while.
to have been the only president after you guys is the guy that he replaced.
Yeah, I mean, the guy that Amadou Ahidjo left in 1982, Paul Biya took over in 1982. So when Paul Biya took over in 1982, I think that was when Buhari was a coup d'etat leader in Nigeria. So when Babangida came in power, Paul Biya was already there as president. When Babangida left, Abdul Salami came in, and Abacha. When Abacha came in, Paul Biya was the guy in power. And Cameroon is the only country that Nigeria does not mess with. Despite the fact that we share border, that is the only country that they believe that is some kind of they have some kind of a stable economy. Because Cameroonians do not rush to Nigeria for anything. During the time when Nigeria was doing Ghana must go stuff, chasing out Ghanaians, despite the fact that maybe there were 1 or 2 Cameroonians, and now they cannot do that. It was during this period, even when Abacha came, because the increase of population in Nigeria, Abacha and Paul Biya, I think they signed a document where they could actually leave Cameroonians and Nigeria, cross the border at will, get into Nigeria and get into Cameroon, without actually having a visa. So Abacha could not actually do anything.
There's visa between you guys' countries?
Yeah, we don't need visa to go to Nigeria. Nigerians do not need visa
Okay,
to enter.
okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, there's free movement across the Cameroon-Nigerian border. And Abacha, there was a place in Cameroon-Nigeria border where Cameroons have gone to war with Nigerians in border issues.
Is it about what's the town called? Is it
you have borders like that. You have places like Bakassi in the south. You have places
hold on. Who does? Okay, some Nigerians claim that Bakassi belongs to them.
No, no, Bakassi was actually given to Cameroon. If you go and check on the map, actually, you could actually believe that Bakassi could actually be Cameroon, but because Nigerians with their increase of population, most of the time they push themselves into the border, occupy certain places, and if care is not taken, you might work on one money and play, and people think that that place is Nigeria, but no, but because of laxity in the Cameroonian. That is why Cameroon right now have started putting a lot of military across the Nigerian Cameroonian borders because a lot of their population was, they were taking communities around the border towns and claiming it's part of them. So which is not. So that's why I'm happy for what is happening. But look, man, Africa, I don't know what is going on in Africa. We have
Mhm.
actually,
Especially
things.
West Africa.
Especially West Africa, and we are now seeing a lot of the coup d'etats coming back, like back in the years, and that's one thing that I tell people. Cameroon have never experienced a coup d'etat. We had a failed coup d'etat when Paul Biya came in power
Oh
because the
yeah.
Fulani leader gave him power, and then when they realized that, oh, Paul Biya is now actually the president, they came in with a coup d'etat that failed. So one thing that I'm proud Cameroon did not have coup d'etat. Most of these
Yeah,
countries like
but
Cameroon,
Judah, don't you
you know,
think Cameroon maybe they like they have the ambitions, but maybe Paul Biya, because I read about how Paul Biya, because he's the guy that he replaced, underestimated Paul Biya. He just saw this guy as a book guy. I guess Paul Biya spent a lot of his time in Europe. That's where he came from. Very educated guy. So when the
yeah,
president he got sick, he was going on leave. He gave power to Paul Biya, because nobody thinks he would just take over because he's quiet,
right.
and
I mean, the guy was a
that was a
quiet
big
guy.
mistake. But
Yeah,
when they attempted the coup on him, with that, they said the Republican guards, he went ham on them.
yeah. After when the coup d'etat happening, oh man, when Paul Biya came in power, I think Paul Biya was at the age of 45, if I'm not mistaken. Very
Right.
young guy, very eloquent, not being homo, but he was one of like the most handsome guy in Africa during that period. If you see
Wait,
the
wait,
pictures, like,
wait. You said he was the most handsome guy.
yeah, at that point in time, at the age of 45, man, the Cameroonians saw him as, very elegant,
But do you
even the
think
way he
he
was.
struck? He put fear. He
Yeah,
put
yeah,
fear in you in Cameroonians' heart.
yeah. After when the coup d'etat happened, Paul Biya, changed. Even as we speak, the corpse of the former president Amadou Ahidjo is still buried in Senegal when he took refuge in Senegal.
Oh yeah,
Even
I
his wife.
remember he did go to Senegal. You're right. I read about that.
Yeah, when he left, left to Senegal, even his wife is also buried there. Ever since then, his corpse have not been brought to Cameroon as well. So, he has been bittered. A lot of things changed. He kind of neglected the North Cameroon for a while, and then started, putting them back into the, in ministry posts. So, a lot of things changed. But like I said, man, Africa. Let me not speak more on Cameroon, but I like talking more on African
Nigeria.
issues.
Because Nigeria
Nigeria.
is the biggest population. Some might say, "Why you got like Mike said? Let's talk about Gambia." No, the reason being Nigeria is the largest population. We don't want it to destabilize because they have
Yeah,
over 200 million people, right? If there's
exactly. I
this
mean,
stability, they would have to, they would spread all over. You see,
yeah, but when
so
I
it's
talk.
in all of our interests to discuss Nigerian issue and come up with solutions, right?
Exactly. When I talk about Nigeria, I'm not talking from a point of hate. I'm talking as
Right,
someone
right.
who
No, I totally
actually,
understand.
who,
Yeah.
I'm talking as someone who actually can see Nigeria through my window from where I live at, my
No,
part of,
Judah. In fact, I would say literally what you've given here. I would go on a limb, and say you, in fact, when it comes to the geopolitics of that region, I mean, you know quite a lot, because
yeah.
your analysis, your take on it, your understanding of things. it's quite impressive.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
quite
So
impressive.
exactly. So I mean, we just wish well for Nigeria. We just, like the proceedings in Africa, man. I mean, all these hunger issues. It's rather unfortunate that we have agricultural lands more fertile than the Europeans, and we have all seasons. Europeans have winter in all these places, but they should still be the ones sending us food. It's rather unfortunate that we are not actually prioritizing the problems at hand. We talk on stuff that do not matter at all, instead of focusing on building and agricultural places for agriculture. So if these things are not improved, we are going to have a lot of problems. In neighboring countries are destabilized. Take for instance Niger. If you look at the on the map of Niger, you kind of go on satellite, you kind of see that most of their land is arid, or
Right.
semi-arid or
Mhm.
desertic. So it kind of tells you that Niger probably do not depend on other countries for food. And if you see on Nigeria, most of the time these guys are flooding into the Nigerian border because they believe that they could actually have food. And this is where the things are. So I mean, I wish countries can actually, solve a problem of food and supply other neighboring countries, food as
And
well. Like I
and,
said,
and Judah, you were saying, you brought up like Sudan, for example, how like the people are spilling from Sudan into Chad.
right.
Um, do you foresee like of the food scarcity, in that region, becoming compounded, and because if Chad is unstable, they're running out of food, and these people want to go into Nigeria thinking that's where the food is. Those people are also crying about food. What do you make of that scenario?
What I make of that scenario is this is where I think African Union should have come in and take out certain countries that would probably, if you look on the map of Central African Republic, Central African Republic is one of, I think when it comes to landmass, is big. They don't have desertic areas. They have they have all their country is green, and their population is not up to 5 million. So, but they have a bigger country, more than the size of Cameroon, and or maybe other countries, maybe
Are
bigger
they
than Kenya.
stable now? I know they were fighting for a while.
Yeah, there might be a little stable, but if not, with this landmass in place, it could have been a place where the African Union could have even captured and create agricultural lands. The Central African Republic, with their landmass, could supply food to most of these Sahel countries, and even Chad. If care is not taken, if we had a military leader in Cameroon, I will have even advised that we capture part of this Central African Republic land.
Wait. You would say invaded?
Yeah, I mean, invaded. Come on, this is what Ukraine, Russia is doing to Ukraine and all these other places.
But
Just the
will
fact
that
that you
create
have land.
more instability? Because these people in Central Africa, they seem to always be ready to go to war.
Yeah, but I mean, going to war with Cameroon would be a failed state for most of these countries, because Cameroon, we cut you a supply of the seaport route and most of your, ammunitions and most of your food. I mean, so they might not even claim going to war. They might just succumb to it. And if only we had a military leader that foresee the future, because this is what most leaders do. They foresee the future. Like Nigeria, like what I was saying, Nigeria does not foresee the future. They don't. That's why you have a leader that has no clue. By 2050, as they speak, Nigerian population will increase to 400 million people. 400 million people, because in United States you kind of see that the way United States is curbing population growth is they have come up with a lot of laws. Abortion right is available. Oh, people have the right to be gay or not. Oh, people have the right to not get married and stuff like that. But in Nigeria, most high school children drop out of school because of unwanted pregnancy. That's why you see Nigerian population is increasing. It's in alarming rate. Most females do not even complete their high schools in Nigeria. Women without no job stay home and just give birth to 10, 7 or 8 kids or children, and population is fast increasing. Nigeria is not thinking about
what will happen in the next 50 years, the situation that they are facing right now, the problems will far increase in the next 10 to 20 years because the population is increasing while the food in supply, is not able to feed
But now that they
the population.
remove the
Uh,
subsidies, can they, encourage the people to,
no, no, no,
return to
no,
the
no,
land to start growing their own food?
no. No, they cannot even return to the land. The subsidies that they tell you they have removed in some way have been implemented back in the society. This is the thing. Nigerians cannot afford to buy gas in their own car. That's why the government give them subsidies so they can cut down the price on it. Why the government is paying half, they are paying half. The Nigerians cannot afford to buy a bag of rice in Nigeria. Right now, as we speak, a bag of rice in Nigeria is 95,000 naira. 95,000 naira, translate that to United States dollar, is probably like 20 US dollars,
That's
$20
cheap.
US. That's cheap in United States, but in Nigeria, it's not cheap at all. Not everybody can afford a 95,000 naira a bag of rice in Nigeria. So that's why when Nigerians come in and say, "Oh, we are the richest in Africa. Oh, we have the richest people," but no, I mean, the people that are rich in Nigeria is not up to 2%. The 2% that are rich, the population of Nigeria that are poor is over 100 and something million people. Come
But
on,
you
man.
see, like for example, for many years that the naira was pegged to the dollar, they benefited from this. Do you think the government, because of their misplaced priorities, instead of investing in their country and the people, they didn't do that? And like for example, agriculture. Now things are coming back to bite them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of being pegged. I mean, look, man. I don't even see Nigeria. Things are coming back to bite them, but still, I don't see them. You know, even
And
if
this
in
hardship
Nigeria,
is all across West Africa, by the way.
it's
Just
all
FYI.
across. It's cut across West Africa, but I don't see Nigeria actually leaving this stage in mind to go to the next level, because even the next president of Nigeria, Nigerians will still go through these issues. Don't forget, the same thing we are talking right now was when Buhari was in power. They were all clamoring for him to leave or praying for a coup d'etat to happen in Nigeria, even when Goodluck was still in power. So it's all the same story points. Nothing is changing. You have presidents coming in. The characters are changing, but the songs is still the same. The dance move is still the same. So actually, nothing is actually changing in Nigeria. Most of their companies are concentrated in Lagos. You only hear of Lagos. Lagos is building a railway. Lagos is doing this. They don't have that mindset of economic diversification, where you could actually take a business and establish it in Cross River State in Nigeria, or in Borno, or or Sokoto, and all these places. No, they have that mindset of just concentrating their economy in Lagos, 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 and that is what is causing a lot of rural urban migration. People are forced to leave the interlands,
No,
the the
Judah,
the,
this
the
is this is
interior.
how it is in most of Africa,
Yeah, but
in
that is
West
the
Africa
problem that is
especially.
wrong with Africa. That is the problem that is wrong with Africa. You go to Gambia, they only
Yes.
talk of Banjo, Banjo. They don't talk of the
No,
other. I mean,
there isn't much in Banjul anymore though. The
yeah, but
economic hub is away from it.
you live in United States, right?
Mhm.
Do you live in New York? Do you see most people going to New York or Washington D.C., where the capital is? No, because the economy is diversified.
Right,
One day you can just get up and say you are going to Alaska. Why? Because they have one of the biggest fishing port in Alaska. Is the
right.
biggest seaport in United States. It's not in New York. It's probably in California. And New York is the biggest city, in United States. So, look, man, that's why most African countries have to diversify their economy. It shouldn't be just the capital city and their one small city close to the seaport, or Douala, or Banjo, or Lagos, or Abuja, or Mombasa and Kenya and all of that. It shouldn't be like that. Diversify your economy, take companies, send them to the interior, give them low taxes, create an economy safe haven in all these places. And then people will not be forced to populate or overpopulate a town You know,
So do
this
you
is
think with these measures, right, with what is happening there, because there's people out there protesting, talking about they can get food, would this force the people to start moving back to these different places, like the villages and towns where they came from, to return back to the land, and say, hey, we need to take charge and grow
exactly
our
we need
own
to.
food? Do you think that, even though it sounds harsh, um, removing the subsidies, um, is not so bad, because it's gonna eventually force these people to return back to their homeland in the villages and start growing food.
When removing I don't know if you understand
No,
what
like the
subsidies is.
conditions, and because they
Yeah, the condition.
subsidize them, even the foods that they import. The government has to
Yeah,
subsidize them.
they subsidize, yeah, because they import a lot of food. But now, if you have what is forcing people not to cultivate crops in Africa or in Nigeria, to be specific, is a sense that most of the younger population do no longer live in the. I mean, if you want to cultivate food in Nigeria or in most African countries, then you cannot cultivate food in the capital city or in a populated place like Lagos,
Right.
because
So that's why I said they're gonna
yeah,
move
so in the
eventually.
interior, so the people that are moving away from the interior now are the younger groups, and these are the people that have to cultivate lands, but they are leaving the lands for the older population. Now, talk on insecurity issues. It should be the government role coming in to create a safe haven for people, or in Nigeria, create a safe haven. Reduce insecurity problems. Maybe instead give the farmers subsidies. Instead of putting subsidies on paying subsidies for Nigeria, give the farmers subsidies. When I talk of giving them subsidies,
We
is
talked about giving them food stamps too.
food stamps, seedings, subsidies, where they could actually buy their seedings cheaper, and when they cultivate these crops, they could actually sell it cheap now to the market. That's how you do it.
Right.
Make them to form a union, where a farmer that is cultivating corn is not just cultivating corn for his own family, but cultivating corn for the entire population of
For
Nigeria. So
yeah.
create a union where the corn farmers union can come in and have a big piece of land, where they can cultivate only corn, beans, grains, and all these things, millet, and these are the farmers that you look up to. You don't look up to hand to mouth farmer, people
Right.
that are just
Subsistence
cultivating
farming.
subsistence farming. That kind of agriculture, that is what is going to solve the problem of agricultural thing, stuff in Nigeria. When that's how you do it. But before you do it, you have to create a stabilized heaven, not concentrated only in Lagos, and diversify the create. Do Come on, man. When I talk about economy, Africa, you know
that was
Hold on.
good.
Let's bring in um
I love Snow Bunny.
I love Snow Bunny. Andre, welcome to the show.
Oh man, you have this gay guy on the panel, man. He has no clue about an economy. Go ahead, Andre. You know, he's always gonna be black and white on his on. Come on, man.
Is it a troll or
I
something?
love Snow Bunny. Are you
I
there?
mean,
Oh,
Take him out, man. This was one guy that was on a panel where he was talking about how a white guy is stalking him on his stuff. I'm like, come on, man. To be stalked by another man tells me that you are soft, man. I mean, men
see,
only stalk women.
Jude, he changed it to "I love Jude."
Yeah, come on, man. You know, yeah,
Yeah, he's a troll. It looks like
he's a
he's a
fraud,
troll.
man. Yeah, exactly. Zongo. I mean, it's rather unfortunate that we have
Guys, get
an
the likes
African
up.
guy.
Get the likes up. A very interesting conversation. Jude
I
is
mean,
dropping some real gems here today. Zongo, welcome to the report again. Zongo, you see, we've shown it, prove it. You know, I know the last conversation, for example, Mike was saying all kind of stuff like, no, there would never be a coup, all that. Judah gave some intelligent, points right?
Yeah.
So, what is your take on it? Go ahead.
For me, any country is not immune from any military coup or insurrection or any kind of like instability, right? Political instability. It just depends on the country's economic condition that would dictate the outcome of the country's future. Actually, if you
You
ask me,
don't think the systems put in place can stop the human condition? Like because like if you put hungry, if you make the people hungry, they can go against any system.
yeah, they will revolt actually. So it's just understanding. So the best thing is uh put feed the people, make them happy, right? And also like maybe like uh I
Yeah,
said
keep
earlier,
keep talking. Keep talking.
okay, like I said earlier, like you know or even Mike said earlier that they have like uh disincentivized the military from even thinking of the idea of even starting a coup because they flooded them with money and they probably um diffuse their power of being able to undertake any coup activity. So I mean, I mean, in a nutshell, it's gonna weaken the military of the country, right? I mean, it's just counterproductive if you ask me. Just all in the interest of the political elites want to amass power to themselves. But that was a good analysis from looking at it from an outsider, right? What Judah was saying, because a lot of times when the Nigerians come on the platform, they tend to uh uh focus a lot of their conversation on tribe. And when Judah speaks, you rarely hear about tribe.
Right,
Like
right. No,
it's
I yeah, that's why I said Judah made a lot more sense because his take, right? His take makes a lot more sense. He did not mention anything about to say tribe or region because he's going by the human thinking, the human condition. Okay, sure, you can talk about
rational
system,
thinking.
right? Rational thinking. Because when people, for instance, are hungry, you know, and they see you as the person responsible for their hunger, you think this group of people are going to fight each other on their difference to say we're from different tribes? They don't care about that.
It's not gonna happen.
When people's bellies are full, right? That's when they start talking all that nonsense.
I used to do that when I was in Cyprus. Usually, I start talking good talk when I eat and I'm full. I speak all this good talk. Honestly, Afrodamus, we live in the West, right? All of us, we live good. We come on this platform, we speak this kind of language. If we were, if we were living in this, this um economy of
In
this
Africa,
country, economies of these countries in Africa, man, our reality is gonna be a little
yeah,
different.
yeah. I mean, it's like the fact is for me. Sure, I mean, I don't know what it would look like. Sure, you're right. We might not be, thinking, the way we're thinking, right?
Hmm.
So that's why it's important for us to have the conversation because you saw those people in the video that we showed in Nigeria. All they were talking about is how high things are, and like this is only
Yeah,
$20,
yeah. For that,
right?
the average, every country, any country you go, the average citizen of any country, he's not a tribal person, Afidamus. That's not
I
true.
know.
Even when
Hmm.
I came to the youth, I was surprised that Americans are extremely nice. Most of them they like like, oh, I hate you from outside. They don't think that way. A general American that you see doesn't think
Most
that way.
people look if you if you're fooled, I
You
mean,
have your
who has
money.
yeah, you have your money, like who's got time for all that?
It's
But
only the the poor
but
people.
yeah, but the way, because now, like for example, the coups is coming back in style. So that's why I said no country is immune to that,
Yeah.
because if you look at it, the people
Yeah.
in charge, right?
Yeah.
If they neglect, you know, the idea of the country being self-sustaining, and in fact, I love this conversation because I didn't hear one single person try to point fingers at white people to say white people are responsible for all this, because we have the soil, we have all this, and we've established that the people have to feed themselves, right? But the government, to me, seems like they have misplaced priority. Do you think, for example, the video that I played, like Tinubu is being used as a scapegoat for the failures that compounded until now? Because the guy is brand new. I mean, let's be honest, he's brand
No,
new.
I mean he's brand new, but he's been in government for a longer time, so he
Yeah, but
understands.
he didn't implement these things.
Yeah, but I'm saying he understands how the economy, like he understands how the country works, right? I mean, you've been. It's just like being in government, being a seasoned politician for a long time. You know how economy works. You know where your revenue. You have some kind of understanding of how the country works, right? So he knows that, right? But the thing is, a lot of the time, people tend to blame the leader that comes in power. Man, the leader doesn't do anything. What is the primary responsibility of the leader? Now, what do they do actually? The legislator, they pass bill, he signs as the president, or he has a mandate to the executive branch. What do they do? The various department, they make policies to regulate these industries. What else do they do? They don't create no jobs. I mean, it's the people that create jobs.
Well, that's what people don't understand. That is not creating jobs. Is not the job of the government. Like they have no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
They have
I
no
work.
clue.
I work in this. I work for the state, so I really do understand like how things actually work, right? And even working here in Washington State, it kind of make me understand things even more better, especially the way American system work. I can speak in the case of Nigeria.
I've worked for Washington State back in the days for 8 years before.
Exactly right. So it kind of mirrors the same system as Nigeria. But I mean, sometimes you hear people like Chuku, like, "Oh, this thing is a failed state." I mean, you probably come from Biafra land. You have your own state. You have your own jurisdiction, man. Your state has resources. What are you doing to benefit the people from your own region? If the people in the north are poor, let them leave their poverty among themselves. You have your own state. What
Wait,
are you
but
doing with the
but
money?
but they are under one federal government though.
I'm saying under one federal government, but I mean each the several states, they have their own jurisdictions, right? It's just like in the US, right? Washington State, they decide what to do, where to invest in the military, or whether to trade with outside,
Yeah,
government.
but I don't think Nigeria operates like that.
That's how we operate, actually, Alfredamus. The
You-
states are independent. They,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
okay, then Mike, if the states are independent, then why are people pointing finger at Tinubu then?
No,
Afridamus,
what's
Mr.
going
Big
on
Guy.
is there's something that are central, like the monetary policy. There's some things that are central, monetary policy, those kind of things. Uh, Resource control. Like there's certain things that are central, but most of the problems that people deal with are with the government. Just like Jude was saying, oh, some states are functioning, some are not. Like Lagos is functioning because of the governor there. He's performing well. He's building rail lines. He's doing great things. And other states that was performing well, Rivers, the governor just left office. So the economy and the development of each state depends on the state governors, and also the state governors are more powerful within the state than the government, than the president. The president cannot come to that state and dictate to the governor on how to run the state. That's
yeah.
how strong the
Hold on, Mike.
In the state.
Andre, wait,
Hold on.
Andre,
Can I speak?
did you come in as Andre this time?
Yeah. Can I speak? Can you hear me?
Well, hold on. It's not your turn now. So it's no different.
Andre, right after him, okay?
Yeah, it's not different from the U.S. Mike, I like you.
yeah. So the presidency thing is
You,
just ego.
yeah,
Afridamus.
you
Who
rightfully
who
said.
becomes president is not really because he has power to come develop a particular place. It's
Yeah,
just ego.
exactly.
It's just ego, man. It's just like, oh, my guy's
Mike,
gonna be the one.
Mike, if that's the case, why do you guys want to, kill this old man from your the stress?
Nah, the thing is, he's particularly the three major southern region. We just have this ego,
Mike,
it's like a competition. It's not really hatred or anything.
Mike,
It's just.
is there a problem with the wealth, like the resource allocation, like how they allocate resources to the various states? Is it a disparity about the resource allocation that people are always fighting against? Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's money. At the end of the day, people fight over money. They make it the team is tribe. It's
Hold
money.
on, Mike, were you here when I played a great speech from a great leader? From one of the greatest Nigerian leaders?
Who's the greatest Nigerian leader?
One of them.
I don't know. I didn't hear.
Hold on, let me play it.
Nigeria is the only country we have. We must therefore solve our problems ourselves. We must lay a very solid foundation for the growth of true democracy. We should avoid any ad hoc or temporary solutions. The problems must be addressed firmly, objectively, decisively.
What a brilliant man.
Do you know that Abacha never stepped foot out of Abuja the entire time he was in power? He never stepped foot out of there.
Mike, why would he?
Hiding in Abuja the whole time and still they killed him.
Look, Abuja is a beautiful place. Why would he?
He couldn't move around the country. He was hiding, and let me tell you, the entire time he was in power, you couldn't wear Nigerian military uniform.
But Mike, he was in charge.
Yeah, but Mike, I want to ask a question.
I'm just telling you that Nigerians will not buy a dictator ruling them. It's not possible.
Mike, you see, what do you make of Babangida? Did you hear this conversation here? Let me show you this one too, okay? Because to debunk your earlier
propaganda on the TV.
Message from the former military administrator Ibrahim Babangida, and he's saying that if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not careful, there'll be a military takeover.
That's a lie. Babangida never said that. See, that's the problem with you non-Nigerians. You go online and listen to these Nigerians that are doing propaganda.
Mike, why are you in denial?
Nigerian news. When they were putting up propaganda,
even Judah said he's heard this before.
Babangida never said it. They even came out and say, "Oh, that's a lie. People should not believe that rubbish that people are putting online." It's Nigerians are doing propaganda war against each other online. That's what you guys don't understand. We are doing propaganda. Those guys are obese supporters. So they lost the election. They start doing propaganda all over the internet. The lady just made up their bullshit. Like Babangida said, it's going to be a military coup, and then the news came out.
Mike, what proof do you have?
What do you mean? What proof do I have? They debunked it. They said no. He never said anything like. What did she get? Anything that Babangida said? Anything?
Do you have a video?
In his farm. Why would he say anything like that?
Do you have a video you would like to share with us?
Share what? That is
about this being debunked.
Where is the proof that he said it?
No, I'm just asking,
she's a podcaster. She's a YouTuber like you. She's making up rubbish.
So do you think I make up stuff? I go and bring evidence.
No, everybody, YouTubers make no, but you're not. If you're doing propaganda, you make up a lot of shit. Come on, man. You do some things, She's a podcaster. A lot of Nigerians you see on YouTube, they're just podcaster, and a lot of them will make propaganda just to gaslight and do things. She made that shit up, man. Babangida never said anything about a coup. The man has retired his goddamn.
She belongs to
she's a supporter of Obi now. She's probably They just making up propaganda all over the place.
I feel that was the best.
And that's why I was trying to tell St. James earlier when he said something as well. Like you heard
Mike. You know who explained the coup thing properly?
Judah did a great job. Judah to speak. You didn't cut him off every time you want to make a sentence. Like me. I couldn't even finish a single before I complete 10% of my sentence. You cut me off and start talking. We were just arguing blindly earlier for most of the time.
No.
You have no clue what I was trying to tell you. But
you were denying.
And you were arguing. And that's what frustrated me about coming to engage in conversation.
No, you were denying.
I'm never denying most of the things you were saying. I keep trying to tell you, and you keep on going. I'm like, dude, I'm not denying what you were saying, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. I never denied that we have military rule. What I told you is we didn't have a guy that wanted to stay there forever and successfully stay there. He was eventually overthrown, or He
We
himself does not
don't
have
know
no
their
power. That's
ambition.
the
We
point I
don't.
was making, and you kept replying by saying, "Look, you are the military ruler. You are this guy." I'm like, dude, that's not what I'm telling you. You have to learn to
Okay.
listen to what someone is telling you sometimes, Fredamus.
Okay. Let's
It's not
bring in. Let's allow Andre to give his 2 cents on this topic. Andre, are you there?
Yeah, I am here,
So,
Mr.
Andre, do
Damos.
you think can a military coup happen in today's Nigeria with all the conditions we're talking about here?
100%, because Nigeria is not a strong democracy. Nigeria is a weak democracy. And
Can you define weak democracy? Can you explain it?
I say weak democracy because people actually don't believe in democracy in Nigeria.
Like who? In what sense?
Nigeria was pushed on democracy, but it is a young democracy. You know, Nigeria has been a democratic country for only 1 decade and a half. It
Say it
is
again?
a young democracy. I just want to say about Nigeria with the dictators. Nigeria doesn't know how to deal with dictators in their. Nigeria failed with the Sahel. Nigeria had worse policies. Nigeria followed the West. Nigeria wasn't independent with their policies when it comes to the Sahels. You saw them allow all those countries in the ECOWAS again because those countries were building a bloc against Nigeria.
Who's building a block against
Nigeria
Nigeria?
needed to learn from their failed attempts
So, Andre,
He
yes.
doesn't
so
even know
you
what he's talking
saying, so you think from the conversation, so you are saying, Mike is in denial about the military being able to pull off a coup.
Afidamas, I'm gonna be 100% honest. What it takes Nigeria to be a coup happening is people starving, like the poor people not believing the system. The poor Nigerians, they're the majority. The poor Nigerians, if they don't believe the system, they rise up. And Mike is not realizing that there's Nigerians who are struggling right now, and they wouldn't support a government that is not doing stuff about that. And this guy has failed. You saw he had to he put like people had taxes. He couldn't even tax people because people were couldn't afford food and amenities. This guy has failed. This guy
about. Do you live in
he's
Nigeria?
been the new Nigerian
Mike,
leader
let
is
him finish.
the new Nigerian leader has failed in the Sahel. That is the biggest failure. Nigeria
I
had
mean the
always had.
How do you
ECOWAS
feel
move.
in Sahel? How Nigeria feel in Sahel? I don't even understand what he's
No,
talking
it is
about. Does
Nigerian
Nigeria
failure.
rule Sahel? I mean, I don't get it.
ECOWAS is a Nigerian failure. That's all I have
How? How?
to. But I'm
Does
gonna say
Nigeria hold
that
ECOWAS?
a coup
Geopolitically, I
can
think that's what
definitely
he means
happen
to
because
say.
Nigerians are
Geopolitical.
starving. They need help. The government is not uh, doing good with the economy. Have you seen their
And that's why we feel the
currency?
Sahel.
I forgot was their currency is 30% like down.
Well, that's fine.
Is is
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
is
but
so
but, I
low.
mean, but that's because it's pegged with the dollar, man. You can't really actually blame them though. It's just pegged with the dollar.
People are
If there's more,
losing their savings.
Look,
People are.
if there's more
I
demand,
mean, the fact is, it's still inflation. I mean, pegging it to dollars. Somebody made that decision.
hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but
Somebody
but
made that decision, and things were going good. So for whatever reason, why they pegged it to it, I'm sure
Do,
they
do,
must
do,
have
do, you-
had
do
a
you know that
plan.
yeah,
the
So
Chinese currency is flowing?
but most countries' economy is pegged with the dollar. I mean, Africa.
right. This
Do,
is
do you
true.
do you know that
Hold
we
on.
kind of
Let me read this. MS Delta, thank you for the super chat. He said, "Oh Lord, my Nigerian brothers, you are in trouble with Judah when Judah is right." Thank you for the super chat, Mike.
I don't understand what that means.
Afredamas, what do you think about the ECOWAS failure with their policies?
Not a good thing. It
I don't know
just
what
it
specific policy you're talking about though.
diminish the power of ECOWAS. No, but Mike, he's got good point, because
No, he's not being specific. I'm not saying he doesn't have good point, but he's not being
no,
specific.
but when he says
My
Nigeria
point
failed
was,
in what is happening in the Sahel,
In
right?
which area? There are many aspects of.
Well, he's
You gotta
talking
be
about,
specific. Is it the
how.
military? Is the economic? Is
Well,
the
they
there's so
didn't
many.
they didn't they didn't go militarily,
hold
but
on,
he's
hold on.
talking about the politics of
Yeah,
it.
no, wait.
Which
Can I
part
explain
of the
it to you,
politics, though?
Mike? Let me explain it in one word. Nigeria pulled policies. We're gonna do this, but they backed up. They said, actually, we're gonna do business with these dictators because it is actually hurting our economy because we're having high inflation. We actually need those countries in the region to.
Which
We
country?
need to do business because it is good for our economy.
Where did they
You
say that?
understand? And Nigeria brought them back because Nigeria had a policy of like pushing them away, isolating them.
Hold on. Wait. Is it Nigerian policy or ECOWAS policy?
Uh, it is a Nigerian policy because
No, it
ECOWAS is
wasn't. It
Nigeria.
wasn't. No. Hold on. When the ECOWAS thing started, the coup, whatever, the ECOWAS have to hold a meeting about ECOWAS issues. So ECOWAS issues not decide in Nigerian parliament. The only time when Tinubu, as a chairman of ECOWAS, decided to make a decision collectively with the other ECOWAS member, the Ivory Coast, the Ghana, and all of them. Hold on. Let me learn. Let me help you out. The part that you wanted to include Nigeria as far as military invasion, that's when he had to engage the Nigerian state, which is Nigerian parliament. And the Nigerian parliament said, no, we as Nigeria shouldn't contribute this.
No, I mean, I think
Invasion.
it's
So it's the Nigerian state. It's against the ECOWAS policy against Niger, Mali, and all those people. But the ECOWAS decision is the ECOWAS as an organization that's making their policy, not Nigeria as a state. So you need to understand to distinguish Nigeria from ECOWAS.
No.
So what Tinubu say,
Can
hey,
you
we're gonna
address?
carry military action. He's saying ECOWAS will carry military action, not Nigeria.
No. I'm laying out points like the failure that they made. You're not agreeing with me. It was absolutely failure.
You can call ECOWAS failure Nigeria failure, man. Come on.
Nigeria actually needed those dictators.
Okay, it's fine, man. Fine. I don't know if you get it anyway. Anyway, it's okay.
I mean, if you say like if they lost economically by just imposing those sanctions on Nigeria,
they did.
affecting like the businesses in Nigeria, okay, that would say okay.
Nah, I don't think that stuff affect anything. I'm sorry.
No.
What affect the issue in Nigeria is just this the subsidy that we did remove. This what created inflation.
No, it's gonna affect.
So Mike, did you see the thumbnail of all the powerful military generals that ruled Nigeria in the past?
If they cut
if you want to get into that, you got to be specific on what you're talking about. Because what you do is just create an argument. I don't know what your base the basis of the argument.
No, I mean, in the thumbnail, did you see all those powerful generals who?
Okay, so what? Okay, then what?
Wait, is that all Nigeria?
Huh?
Yeah, but Mike, if you cut electricity supply or gas supply to Nigeria, it's gonna affect the business.
Yeah, Mike, he's right. Mike, you cannot pretend like it's not Nigeria. It was Nigeria that cut like ECOWAS had its own sanction, but Nigeria did its own thing. That's the Nigerian nation that cut, electricity to Niger.
I agree with you on that.
So you cannot, pretend and try to make it sound like Andres just talking. It's just talking BS. You can't you can't make it seem like.
That's how I was asking you to be specific.
No, but you know what he's talking about.
No. That maybe Nigeria to some degree Nigeria plays some. But when he's saying totality of that whole thing that was happening, I think it's just Nigeria making a decision. It's ECOWAS thing.
No, but Mike, to cut the electricity.
Hold on. But it's the whole ECOWAS that put a sanction there.
Yeah, but the electricity, yes,
ECOWAS has all the non-members of all the members of ECOWAS all put a sanction. It was ECOWAS sanction.
Yeah, but the person that cut off the electricity to their neighbor, the airspace,
Hold on, wait. If the ECOWAS all collectively agree to sanction those countries, One of them cannot say, "Okay, I'm not going to do this." They all have to do it.
Yeah, but Mike,
wait.
Who cut off the electricity though?
That's what. Well, if the whole EU decide to put a sanction on Russia, one of them cannot say, "Oh, I'm going to keep supplying Russia this." That means
yeah, but you guys, Andre is right. Then
but
you guys have to.
I will give him that.
Yeah, but
my point, Afidamus, my point is, who has the say is Nigeria. Nigeria has the say.
Yeah, it's because Nigeria.
They all have the
say.
Yes,
they do, Mike. They do have the say.
Not dictate in ECOWAS.
I think everybody like once like they make a decision, the respective countries have to go and implement those decisions.
Guys, right? Come on, are you kidding me? Nigeria literally, shut itself out of money. This is why they have to come back.
Come on, we don't need to chase money, man.
Are you serious right now?
This guy don't have no money, dude.
Mike, if they cut gas supply, man, the companies are gonna lose because the gas is just gonna.
Which company?
I'm just saying electricity or something. I mean, we heard about it. I don't know.
It's the federal government of Nigeria that control the electricity, man. It's not private companies, man.
Mike, are you saying that they didn't cut off
economy, though? Mike, why are you acting that way? I'm not saying like, but it contributes to the country's economy. That's what I'm saying.
Whose economy?
The country as a whole, the whole nation as a whole.
Mike, you say you don't need, you guys don't need Niger's money? Yes, you do.
They do.
Whatever, man.
Why do you think Buhari, put a railway all the way to Niger?
Huh?
Why are they building the railway all the way into the middle of Niger?
Well, yeah, you do. I'm not even trying to get into this.
Money is money. Come on.
Okay, fine. You got it. I don't know all these irrelevant arguments, man.
No, because Mike is from probably Lagos State, so he doesn't know. But I'm sure, like people from the northern areas, they do enjoy the bilateral relations between both countries, right? It's just like in the U.S., in Washington State, they have roads I-5 connecting all the way to Canada. So there's always people in northern, northwest America that always go to Canada to conduct trade. If you're from Florida, you care less about what goes on over here, right? But
so Mike is being regionalist.
Maybe. No, he doesn't stay over there, so probably he cares less. I mean, same thing in most, in a big country, right? If you're not really not from that region, you care less about.
Like you said, that policy there, probably, like I said, each state controls its own economy, its own system. So if maybe the state
Mike, you haven't answered my question, Mike. Do you agree the ECOWAS policy
I already told you you won, man.
And
I agree with you. Everything you said, it's okay. I don't want to get into that, man.
Mike, let the man ask his question.
Yeah.
But Mike is not. He's not an extreme Nigerian like two Niger though. So let not grill too much on Mike, man. Mike is. It's just the problem that I have with Mike is that sometimes he lets tribal affiliation just cloud his vision sometimes. But he's a very reasonable guy, actually, if you ask me, right? But sometimes just tribal loyalty. That's the right way. Tribal loyalty.
Zongo.
Clouds his judgment.
You don't know. He's a tribal loyalty. In what sense? Can you elaborate what you
because this show was inspired about Mike inspired it, so Mike should be answering the questions,
Zongo, you don't know how Nigeria is, man. You don't know at all.
I mean, when we asked you the question about Obasanjo's coup, like you were hesitant to respond that okay, he was complicit in the coup,
And he tried to say Obasanjo didn't do any coup. That's what he tried.
Obviously, there's no evidence they did a coup.
Wait, Mike, can I ask you a question? Mike.
But he has nothing to do with tribal anything.
Mike, how did he come to power the first time?
Because he's what they call the guy Murtala passed away, so he was his deputy. You have to understand.
He was part of the military. He was part of the military junta. He was number two.
He was okay. Let me explain something. When Abacha did the coup, right, when he became head of state, do you know that his deputy that he appointed was from the south, was somewhere that had nothing to do with coup plotting? So what happened in Nigeria is whenever a guy from one region becomes head of state, he's going to appoint someone from the south to be his deputy. We've always followed that principle from the beginning.
Yeah, but then
when Murtala did the coup, if you look at all of you that sat down when they did the coup, he just appointed Obasanjo from nowhere because Obasanjo is from the south, the most senior officer from the south at that time. So he appointed to be his
So
deputy.
obviously, Obasanjo. I'll
but the
just go
best
with.
thing,
I'll just go with what you're saying, right?
what
Let's
about
say
let me
Obasanjo was not part of the coup, but obviously, if he's the number 2 man, that means he agrees
part of it.
with the.
But
He's in the military,
He's
though,
part
man.
of it. He agrees with it.
No,
let me
he's,
tell you
the
one thing.
military the coup already succeeded. So
Let me tell
when
you
he
one
started
thing.
appointing his cabinet, hold on. Muntala
Are
did
you
the coup.
serious?
Hold on now, let me explain. Muntala did it. He did a coup, and after doing the coup, he started organizing his cabinet. So he
So
started.
Obasanjo was not part of the coup.
No,
Okay, Mike, let me tell you.
it wasn't. It wasn't even. It was more like a go on traveled, right?
Look, what I know to be
Do you know how the
true.
coup happened? Do you know how the coup happened? Do you know where Gowon was during the coup?
Hold on. Following coups in Africa, most of the time.
Exactly.
Most of the time, when the coup plotters or whoever, when they succeed, number 1, number 2, 3, 4 are usually they are the people. They are the ones that cooked it up together. That's why they get those positions.
In the case of Nigeria, it's different.
Oh man. Okay, Mike.
It's
different.
Mike, I disagree with you.
I'm telling you. Okay, what about okay? Wait. Do you know that when Babangida became military head of state, and it was like, oh, he wants the second vice president to be from Igbo land because he looked at the previous vice president being from either Yoruba or something. So he went and appointed a civilian vice president who's from Igbo. So they always, when the northerner guy get in power, they always want to make it southerner device. It's a principle. It's the things that we've been doing. Even
Mike, most
they will
of the
make
time,
it southerner. They will make it southerner the vice president. And when southerner become the president, they will make it northerner the vice president. That's just something we follow.
Mike, most of the time, even like, for example, even in my country in Gambia, when Yahya Jammeh did a coup, right? Most of the time, you look at it, these military guys, they would betray each other, like the people they came in with, right? Because they know, like, okay, we cook this together. The same thing I did to come to power, I did it with these guys, and this person can do it to me. So 9 out of 10 times, even Yahya Jammeh in Gambia, he did that. He brought, eventually he slowly, clipped, his crew. He brought in a civilian, a female, as his vice president because it's easier for them to control those people. They do that. Okay?
Yeah, but
that's because they want to secure their position. It's nothing else. That's the reason why they do it.
I'm gonna say something, right? See, if I was in the military and I was against the coup, right, and my my boss died, the best thing for me to do is to restore back constitutional democracy, right?
Right.
But if you
but the thing is, Zongo, a lot of these guys that did coup, they're usually people for their personal interest. It's because those soldiers were broke. They just want to make money. That's all. That's the main reason they do the coup, dude. The military. Listen, that's what Nigeria figured out because the military salary, the general salary, the salary they're making is nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So they look at it like I have a gun, and these civilians are making all the money, and I'm here. I got the gun. Let me just overthrow them and get in their position and steal the money. So what the Nigerians did is they started pouring money into the general's pockets. So if you're a Nigerian military general, you literally you have millions in your disposal. They all paid like they're literally part of the Nigerian military generals, all the officers, the
so they corrupted them. They corrupted
huge.
So you're saying they corrupted them?
No. What I'm saying is no. If you go look at the Nigerian retired general's package, when you retire as a Nigerian general, you have about 7 soldiers that will be guarding you to the rest of your life. You have
so they bought them
this
off.
allowance. Hold on, you have allowance that you collect every month for the rest of your life. The package is huge. So
yeah, so they bought them off.
Exactly, they bought the military. That's what I'm saying. So they all hitting. They all.
So what about the ones? What about the ones they didn't buy off? You do know, soldiers of lower ranks can still
but those guys, right? And the thing is, for lower rank soldiers in the context of Nigeria, the army is so huge that we have an air force with fighter jets, Tucano jet. I can a freaking junior officer do a coup and overthrow so many army that's so big, that's so expanded, that's all over the country. We're no longer
a junior soldier. Hold on, let me give you an example of
Well, you're gonna go back in time where they used to use AK-47 to
let me show you. Hold on, let me give you an example of when a junior soldier took over here.
Somewhere do it, right?
Monrovia, they don't want to work on the
You see that?
Exactly.
You see that? He pulled it off.
Do you want to compare Samuel Doe, Liberian army, with all the soldiers, all the guys? They came from, hold on.
The man pulled it off. That's all.
But if you listen to
he was a junior soldier.
Hold on. Even in Nigeria, back in those days, is a junior or whatever can pull out a cool AK-47 gun, just look of God, he'll shoot or somebody. But today's Nigerian army, that has a very powerful air force, powerful navy, powerful secret service, and powerful army with a bunch of generals. Where they have a Tucano helicopter, they have a fighter jet, and one junior officer somewhere is going to plan a coup and be like, "Oh, I've taken over." He's going to take over being a presidential palace and be announcing rubbish. When a general on the other side of the country can send a private jet and bomb his ass.
When Jerry Rawlings, when he took power in Ghana. In fact, he was an Air Force pilot. Ghana had, jets. No, what I'm saying, they had jets, and he still, pulled it off. So, what is your point?
Yeah, but I mean, I think what Mike is saying is that they've like divided the power among Air Force,
like decentralize it.
The army, decentralized. That's the right word, decentralized. So, man, you have to coordinate and cooperate with the other branches of the military to be able to pull that off.
But let me tell you how the Nigerian military structure. Even the CIA trying to hold on. Let me tell you. Even during Jonathan's regime, when Jonathan was inviting the Chinese to Nigeria and doing whatever against America, even the CIA.
You know what? Let's allow Judith to chime in. Judith, are you there?
Oh yes, Afidemus. I'm here, man.
Yeah, are you hearing this?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let him talk. Let him go ahead and talk. I'm just in the background. I'm busy right now.
Oh, you at work?
No, not at work. No, I'm trying to get one or two things ready. It's the weekend, man. So yeah.
Okay.
But I'm gonna try in probably in 5-10 minutes. Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
So I'm telling you how even the CIA during Jonathan's regime, they're trying to, like, where Jonathan wasn't playing ball with America like that, where he wasn't allowing them to control him too much. He was trying to do deals with China and stuff. The CIA came and trying to contact some of the officials in the Nigerian army, trying to pay them off to say, hey, go organize a coup, trying to give. The guy quickly, he literally shot his American guys out of the base, kicked them out on the streets, and called the central like, okay, this guy is calling me and trying to, because the way the military is so structured now, it's like, oh my God, for you to, like, this is not one pass where they will have one army chief of staff, where one general is just the commander of all the whole army. No, it's so structured in a way where it's divided, like generals controlling different, there's so many regiments and divided. And then within the army, they have, not even within the army, in the country, we have something called the DSS, the Secret Service. And the Secret Service, they are it's like a secret. They don't have like a particular uniform. So they are like within the rank of the military, and also every day affairs, every general have to pass report to the Secret Service and then go straight to the president. So, and the Secret Service, they have heavily trained, very sophisticated weapon, and all over. Like, it's the way they structure the Nigerian army is almost like, God damn. They just eliminate the idea of anybody, even, and then they made a law where if anybody call you for a coup and you hear it and you don't report it right away, that's treason. That's a death sentence. That's why the guy I told you, when the CIA approached him, he quickly called the Nigerian state, like, oh, okay, I was called by this foreign person. And the way they've structured the Nigerian security architecture, God Lord, man. Like, that's why we're telling you, like, dude, forget it, man. No one's gonna consider that military coup thing, man. It's just not.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll buy the story, you know. So no amount of hungry people would ever eventually
Unless the entire military becomes hungry too. But like I said, it's only people that will be hungry. At least the politicians, the general army, they're all taken care of. So who's good? Only the people can only, except if the people, the entire country, get on the street and just overthrow the government. That's the only way. But saying because the people on the streets, some general will not do a coup. Come on, man, it's not happening, dude.
Okay. Well, I hear you. Zongo, what is your take on what Mike just said? Zongo, are you there?
I'm over here.
What video did you share, Zongo?
it was an American born Ghanaian who went back to do politics in Ghana, and he was interviewed by Sahara News about Nigeria, about the insurgency, and he was sharing his perspective about from an American view. It's really damning, man. But anyway, yeah, I mean, Afinamas, the answer is very easy, but a lot of times, we just like to whine and make everything into, regional politics about someone has to be from the north, man.
Right.
How about just giving the position to someone who is competent, someone who has demonstrated years of experience to be able to do the job,
Well, like just Chukwu said it the best. He said this sounds like the talk. In America, they say the bank. You know how they say these banks are too big to fail, and eventually they fail. So
Zongo, to answer your question, start pointing in Nigeria, it's a global phenomenon. Even here in the United States, when it comes to the election period, they're going to start talking about the black votes, the Catholic votes, the Hispanic votes. It's politics. It's when election comes. It's when the politicians start.
So, Mike, you're saying this is just not possible at all. It's not possible.
What do you mean? What's not possible?
Like you said, like the coup, it's not possible to ever happen.
And there's nothing we would say is impossible at all. But I'm saying the chance is very slim. It's not even worth it.
Well, I think, Mike, I think a lot of coups these days. The success is very slim, even in smaller countries.
Let me tell you where I'm coming from. I'm putting myself in the shoes of the person that will plot that coup. That's why I'm telling you.
Mike, you're not gonna be the perfect example. You would never.
Yeah.
You would never.
But if you listen to me,
you don't know what that is like.
If you listen to me, you know where I'm coming from.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm telling you that the person that's going to plot the coup, he's going to take power over power, and he knows the way Nigeria is. He knows the way Nigeria is. It's going to be a situation where you, as that person, people are going to first look at you like, okay, where are you from? That's the first question the whole country is going to ask. Okay, who's taking over the country? Where is he from? Oh, you're from the Northeast, and you're taking, especially when a Yoruba guy is the president, and you have bunch of elites with the Lagos, where is a very, you understand, the elite of Lagos, and then you have South. So you're gonna take over. You're gonna now be like, okay, I'm taking over Nigeria. I'm the new dictator, and I'm from the Northeast or Northwest. And
it's happened before.
Hold on, give me a chance. I'm from the Northeast. I'm from the Northwest. Now I'm ruling you guys. He knows that they're not going to agree with him. And
it's happened before. It's not.
And that's why I was telling you that when it happened in the past, there was the same case. Every dictator that came in, guess who gave him headache? People from the other region.
Yeah.
See, are you saying they wouldn't do it? We don't know what the people would do.
Afridamos, don't go long. Let me just get across so I can get a full understanding what I'm talking about. Those ones in the past, that's what frustrated them to always quit after some time, because they can't even visit the other region. It came to a point where Babangida had to pack the capital away from Lagos. Because the Yorubas kept on rioting, killing the soldiers every time they see them on the street. They're like, no, you cannot be ruling over our empire. That's how crazy that's how Nigerians cannot stand it.
Or your empire.
I'm telling you. I mean, I
Man,
don't tell
Mike,
you. I'm trying to tell you how Nigerians think. I'm
Mike,
trying to
Mike,
tell you
Mike
how
is
Nigerians think.
Mike
So
is
you're
still
saying that
about
you guys are tribal?
Yeah,
man.
no, the ego.
No, no,
Like,
no, no. Well, because you say you
That's
mentioning
tribalism,
tribe,
man.
you're saying
That's
tribal.
no, it's not just
Mike,
tribal. It's the
Mike,
Afrikaans. It's
Mike.
the ego.
Buhari was just president not that long
And look how they
ago.
frustrated him. He was only just the president. Look at the
But
Igbo
Mike,
people.
you speak of the
I,
empire. I seem like they were great, man. They are literally nothing in this modern
they,
term.
Mike does not like to talk
Afrikaans.
about.
I
Man,
don't think
these people,
you know how like how.
those chiefs, they lack knowledge about economics. How even the Swiss system probably works. They even
What are you talking about? Probably one of
I
some of the most educated people in freaking Africa.
I
What are you talking about?
I doubt even they even know what AI actually means. Actually, like I mean, can you imagine making these people our leaders, man? No,
Who?
no one, no one. The economy is struggling.
Who are you talking about? You talking about the kings?
Yeah, the kings, man. What
Do
do
you,
they
do you
know?
know? Are you crazy? Do you know how you think our kings are still from dusty kings like you guys have in Ghana? Are you kidding me? Do you know
Oh
more?
man,
You hardly see you hardly see it. Do you know that most of the kings in Nigeria, many of them graduated from Harvard and Oxford and all this. Do you think our kings are
man.
just some
Oh
bushmen like
man,
that?
come on, oh man, come on, man. I mean, see, you're gonna come over here
Do
and
you know that the emir, the king emir of
But
Ghana was the former central bank
Mike,
governor?
that's funny, Mike. You like to always say,
No, he's telling
this.
me that
But
those guys
what I'm
cannot.
saying, Mike, 1 minute you diss the white man education, another minute you come here, you promoting, say, proud of the education your kings received from the white man. So you mean they were brainwashed from the white
No,
man?
I'm just saying that. No. These guys from the royal family in Nigeria, all the royal families are wealthy. So all their princes, they all went to school. They all went to university and top, and
man,
they
if
still
they
know their
actually went
culture.
to school, like,
But he's
would they be
thinking that
practicing
he's still
tribalism
thinking
right
that
now?
it's like Ghana where their kings are just going there.
Dusty?
They see where king take on.
Hold on, Mike, MS Delta sent a question for you. Here's a question for Mike. He said, as a FBA, I have DNA from major African tribes. Can I be a dictator?
What the hell did he say? I don't even understand.
He's asking, he said he's from major African tribes, like, because, like from the Yoruba tribe. Can he be a dictator?
He's well, that's one of those low IQ FBA questions, man. That doesn't make sense.
Man, see,
Tell him to ask a better question.
Mike,
Mike, I don't think you like answering questions, but
But the question does not make sense, man. What is he saying?
No, this makes sense because you are implying.
Okay, can you help him interpret it? Maybe I can in a better way.
I'm guessing he's asking because you said these other people, for example, if you do a coup, people are gonna start questioning. Oh, this person is from this northwest area. Oh, like this tribe, right? So the major tribe are gonna go against that. So he's letting you know his DNA is from major tribes. So you are implying you guys are dictators. You're gonna go against, the person. So since he's from these major tribes, he's got the DNA. Can he also be a dictator?
The fuck.
Yeah, I don't think you understood what I said. I didn't say for you to be a dictator you have to become a major tribe. I never said that. What I'm saying is,
I think you implied it. You didn't say
no,
it.
that's not. Wait.
Maybe we misunderstood it, but maybe
he's thinking that I said you have to come from a major tribe to be a dictator. That's not what I said.
But Mike, you did imply it, though.
Maybe you have to learn to listen.
Isn't it surprising to you actually? A country like Nigeria that
Mike, you do realize people are listening. Like MS Delta is in the chat and others. You see, look at what they are writing. Look at what they are writing in the chat.
Yeah, because these guys are from America. They don't know anything about.
They have like several.
No, but they are listening to you. They can hear what you're saying.
They have like several minority tribes, but you rarely hear people even having a conversation about those minorities. Nobody even speaks about them actually, and these are even actually the building block of these societies actually.
But
this and that. I'm like, what? Like, really?
But do you know that most of those Nigerian dictators came from minority tribes? Those guys that came in trying to be dictator. Do you know that, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'll be a dictator too because this type of talking about your number, we the large numbers, and I've got the guns. I mean, come on now. I
No,
mean,
what I'm saying is, whether you come from a major tribe or minor tribe, you cannot be a dictator in Nigeria.
Yeah, but I'm
Because
saying
we have more than, we have like about 4 to 5 or 6 major ethnic groups
Mike,
alone.
you literally implied it. Like you said, the Yorubas wouldn't go for it. So that would mean if it's a Yoruba guy that did it, you guys would be cool with it.
No. No. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
If a Yoruba guy do it, the other major tribes and all the other regions will not go for it.
Yeah.
The only people that would go for it will be people from where you're from. That's it. That's the point I'm making.
And even sometimes the way he speaks, like he speaks like if they're known as one ethnic group, man. They are like several tribes.
Yeah, exactly. There are many of them.
And you said notice, like everybody just follow like
even within the north, Zongo, even within the north, if a Fulani guy become a dictator, the Kanuris are not going to go for it.
Mike, I think literally our idea of dictator, right? It don't matter like what tribe the person is from. If you're a dictator, you're just a dictator. It don't matter. Like for me, like I'm confused by the part if you just say dictator, sure, but when you say the tribe, for me, if the person is a dictator, it doesn't matter what their tribe is. A dictator, what I'm saying, a dictator is just a dictator. That's it.
A dictator. Hold on, a dictator is a dictator. When you become a head of state of a country with so many ethnic empire, large empire with people that have ego. Now you as that dictator, you're dictating.
You mean they have tribal alliance more than
listen to me, Avidamos. Zongo, give me a chance. Let me break it out a very simple understanding. Avidamos, you are a Nigerian and you are Yoruba. And you do a military coup, you take over the whole Nigeria. Now you become a head of state and you become a dictator, meaning you are ruling over everybody. Guess what's going to start happening? The Igbos are going to be like, what the hell would a Yoruba guy be the one dictating to we, the Igbos? The Kanuris, the North, be like, what the hell would a Yoruba guy be dictating to us here? The Benin Kingdoms are going to be like, what the hell is this Yoruba guy dictating to us here?
But see, Mike, that means it's tribal. For example, right?
No.
Yeah, Mike,
we don't see ourselves as one.
Hold on. Mike, for example, right, in my country, we had a person that came to power through the barrel of the gun and eventually became a civilian. So he was accused of being a dictator, and like he had very many dictatorial tendencies. But I literally, for me, or others, I don't ever, maybe some people might look at it that way, but I don't look at it like, oh, this guy is not from my tribe, so therefore that makes him a dictator.
I'm just like, telling you,
for us, we just look at it like, okay, the president is being a dictator. You know what I'm saying?
That's to you. Like it's different in
like I don't mean nobody thinks about like the tribe, because even people from his own tribe that think he's a dictator see him as that.
And Africans, and what I'm trying to tell you is that the way people think in other African countries is completely different from the way Nigerians do think.
Okay,
we're just this different. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's like in Cameroon,
so you guys are more tribal.
We're not tolerant. We're very, very, very. It's not even we're just the pride of these people of this kingdom is so huge.
So you guys are super primitive still.
It's not primitive issue. It's just
primitive.
Hold on, this is primitive.
Hold on. You can't call it primitive.
It is primitive.
Hold on. Give me a second. First of all, do you know that when Nigeria, first of all, we were very powerful, many powerful kingdoms.
Powerful
right?
what, man? In those
hold on.
times?
Can you calm down, please? God damn it, dude.
Come on, man.
The way you guys view tribes or ethnicity in your areas, you see your tribes as primitive. No,
we don't. I don't, because I'm saying from what you're saying, you are saying that our tribes, our people there are more enlightened because they are not thinking along that way. They just see that
it's not about
it's okay for the person to rule if they are going to do it the right way. They don't care about the tribe.
But you have to understand
British did
the
use good
politics
for bringing
behind. You have to
civilization to
understand the.
America.
Can you give me a second? You have to understand the story behind it. Do you know? You have to go to the beginning when the British were organizing Nigeria, right?
Nigeria is complicated.
Hold on.
Hold on.
It's not, man. They try to make it
Zongo,
complicated, but it's not.
please let me talk, man. Let me.
Zongo, let Mike.
Can you calm down, please? When the
Well, Mike, that doesn't mean you know it better than like.
I'm not saying I know it, but let me
Judah explained Nigerian politics and West Africa, and he's like on point. Like you don't have to be a Nigerian to know this. Like I debunked you earlier. I showed you the president, and I'm not Nigerian.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying?
Whatever, man. Whatever. I'll give you that.
You don't think we learn Nigerian history in our schools? You don't think we learned this?
Okay, that's fine, but you don't have a better understanding. Let me.
It's just like learning about America, living in America. Like, what's different from just learning about Nigeria, man?
Yeah,
bro, Zongo,
Mike, the information is everywhere. Like, if you're interested in knowing anything, trust me, you will get the accurate information.
You can learn basic information, but you don't know the nature. To know the nature of a society, you have to go there and exist among them before you know the nature.
Yeah,
sure.
You're right.
You're right about that.
And I'm trying to tell you the nature of the way Nigerians approach the national issues come from the beginning, the origin. And I'm
you're telling me hungry Nigerians, right?
You allowed you there to go through it. That's why you understood it.
I want to help you here.
So I don't need your help. I haven't even gone through it. Let me go to where I'm going. God damn.
Okay, go ahead.
You allowed you there to break it down. That's why you understood what you were saying. But me, you don't allow me to break things down. But that's why you never get it. Well, can you give me like 2 minutes without anybody interrupting me?
Oh, you got 1 minute.
Mike, you just beat around the bush. Sometimes I don't think you make sense in what you're saying. So I mean, go ahead and talk, man.
Mike, just go ahead, make your point.
Can you give me 2 minutes just to say without being cut off, so that way you actually understand where I'm coming from?
I'll mute myself, guys. Let's allow Mike to talk, and after Mike, we'll have Judah. Judah, you're right, but let me read this for you, Mike. He said, Mike, I got Igbo, Yoruba, Fulani, etc. DNA, so I should be able to be acceptable as a dictator. You know, Mike. Actually, Mike. You know what? The FBA, they got the combination. They are from all this tribe. We can't deny it. So the guy's got a point. Thank you for this super chat. Go ahead.
Okay,
you can deny that the FBAs have the tendency to be able to have all this DNA. Go ahead.
Mike,
the floor is yours. Go ahead, Mike.
Here's the deal. When the British were in Nigeria, they allowed the kingdoms to govern themselves independently. They were dealing with the kingdoms independently. So when they were leaving, right, they called the kingdoms to come together to decide how they're going to be, if they can accept to be one country. And when the kingdoms came together, they said, we can be one country, but it's going to be confederation. We're going to govern ourselves independently. Judah can even attest to it. So they started with the regional system in the beginning, where they govern themselves independently.
I know. I studied this in social studies growing up.
Somehow, when the military guys, because those guys somehow want to start looking at things differently, trying to do this nationalistic, the guy they're kind of...
Why do you hate these military guys?
Well, can you allow me to go through it, man? The first military coup, the guy did a coup and trying to he dumped that early constitution about a region governing itself independently, kingdoms governing itself independently, and create this unitary system, which eventually led to a civil war. And after that, since then, each region still see themselves as independent people. See, today, I'm telling you the story behind it.
So why don't you guys just break it up, break this union and everybody go their way?
Why do you think we constantly hear about self-succession? We still haven't got to that point, though.
Yeah, but Mike, you're making it seem like most countries in Africa didn't go through the same stages.
Dude, I'm not talking about most countries in Africa. Stop putting what in my mind. I don't care about most.
The British
The way British dealt with Ghana is different from the way they dealt with Nigeria. So
Yeah,
stop,
but I
stop.
mean, but we just trying to apply logical reasoning over here, right?
No, the
So,
problem with you
Mike,
Pan Africans is you always think everybody's
but
just the
I'm not a
same. We
Pan
all the
African.
same and bullshit.
I've never been a Pan African. I'm not a Pan African, man.
There's always want to think everybody have to reason the same way. I don't have to
But
fucking reason like you.
but
God damn it.
Mike, I get what you're saying, right? But Mike, you can go read about this, like all these other today, these places they are calling country, even as small as the territory of Gambia. It was the same thing. They had smaller kingdoms within these territories.
Yeah, the
But
United
in
States.
Nigeria, it's not the case. We have
No.
very large kingdoms, man.
Well,
man,
I'm just the concept. I'm just telling you the concept. It was the same. They had smaller,
No,
virtual kingdoms.
Nigeria is not smaller.
They
The
did.
Igbos are 40. You know the population of the Igbo people? Almost 30 million people. Yorubas are almost 40 million people. Dude, we don't have smaller tribe like that, dude.
When the British came, when the British came,
kingdom
it
in
was
Nigeria
not
is the size
the
of the whole
population.
country in Africa, dude.
Yeah, but when the British came, the population wasn't that large, though.
It's always been large.
Okay.
It's always been. Do you know Yoruba? Do you know how big Yoruba land is, dude?
No,
You know the Yoruba land is bigger than England. It's bigger than England.
You are lying. When they came, the population wasn't very large because usually the population size
Yeah,
doubles.
because the population just grew, started growing.
Mike, what you don't understand is when the British were ruling Africa, they had a policy of indirect rule.
Right.
Across all their English African countries. What does that mean? It means that instead of them being on the ground ruling the people, they give powers to the chiefs to rule them.
Right.
So that's
Yeah, they were
indirect
dealing
rule.
with the
So
kingdoms. The
let me finish.
kingdoms.
Let me
Yeah,
finish.
they were
Let me
engaging the
finish.
kingdoms.
No, but
So let me
Mike,
finish.
you gotta let him finish, though. Let him
Let me
finish,
finish.
Mike.
Okay, go ahead.
So that means that the king is taking power from England. So the white man controls the king, and the king controls his people. So and that is what most English African countries do not understand, because they still believe that they control their economy, but the policy of indirect rule is still happening till today as we speak, because the king is not in control. It's only the European Union or the England that controls Nigeria. Another point that I want to make, you were talking about the
No, England
politics
doesn't
in
control
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Let me
Yes,
finish. You
they
were
do,
talking about
Mike.
let me finish. You were talking about the politics in Nigeria compared to that of United States is the same. No, it's not the same. The United States practice a system where every white man across the corner of United States can be president, but not in Nigeria. Nigeria is practicing some form of tribalistic democracy
Really?
where a North. Let me finish, man. Let me finish. Come on, man. Can you stay
Go ahead.
quiet
Go
by
ahead.
sometimes? I mean, what I'm saying is, in Nigeria, if a person from the north is president, the next time it gotta be somebody from the south. So when you come here and say, "Oh, the people that have been ruling Nigeria are the minority leaders," no, that's what you implies. But is that like that in Nigeria? No, because everyone is put in a box and they call him a north, and that makes it in such a way where a person from the north cannot be president twice in Nigeria as we speak. But
Judith.
that's some form of tribalistic. Let me finish. That's some form of tribalistic system of government. Because take for instance, you have Tinubu as president now. Are you gonna tell me the next president of Nigeria can still be from south? No, or from the southwest? No, it's not gonna happen.
Judith.
So yeah, I mean, go ahead.
You know
Judith,
what?
tell
Hold
me.
on. Let me say this real quick, Mike. Mike, Judah is right. For
No, he's
example,
not
right?
right. No, he's not right.
Hold on, Mike. He's right, because the British is indirect rule. Okay, let me give you an example. Like for me, the region where my people came from, my ancestors, my grandfathers, all that, where they came from in Gambia, that region, technically, if you look at it, we were not colonized. The British even wrote it. It's not, they didn't colonize the whole place. They referred to the region as protectorate. They didn't have no contact
It's the same thing. In most
yeah.
part
So
of most ethnic
what
group in
I'm
Africa, they
saying.
didn't have
So
contact with them.
okay. So my point is, okay, those people, even though the British they came, they lived in a small area, right?
Mhm.
They did not. So that region is called the protectorate.
Protectorate, yeah.
Yeah, it was the protectorate, meaning these people were just allowed to continue with their,
Yeah, they just part of the map that we drew.
It's just they wrote it, they just part of the map. Most of these people have never even had any contact with white people.
It's just the same all over Africa.
It's just what white people wrote
Now you
on
are
the.
That's what they wrote exactly.
What I'm saying, it's something like, I would assure you, my great grandfather, those people, they've never even seen a white man ever.
Africa was more than 90%.
I'm saying my great grandfather.
Yeah.
They've never seen a white
It's
person.
the same thing with the whole Africa. Majority during the so-called colonial time, more than 90% of the African population didn't see white people face to face. They never saw them.
But that's what Jude is saying.
No, let me ask Jude. Let me ask Jude a question. Jude, hold on. Jude, you said the power, the north, and you have to come to the south. Tell me which part of Nigerian constitution, which part of Nigerian constitution says that when the north rule, the power must come to the south.
Oh,
yeah,
come on, Mike.
The Constitution didn't say that, but you made it known.
No, the Constitution does not say that.
Mike.
It's the Nigerian politics. It's the Nigerian people,
but that is a tribalistic form of politics that you
but
practice.
it's not the law. It's not the Constitution. It's not law.
Yeah, but people.
But Mike, you see why we say then that means you guys are practicing primitive politics, because the thing is, wait, because they brought it as a nation. I just gave you an example, like certain regions is protectorate, right? They didn't have anything to do with the white people, none of that. They continue. But when the people started realizing, people going to school, they're like, okay, now this is a country, it's a nation, right? Mm-hmm. They went with it. People are not saying, okay, you gotta be from this tribe or this tribe to rule this time. They're just there like, okay, now we are a country. They're not saying, okay, wait, technically the British, they ruled those people, because those chiefs in the combos, like Banjul, those areas, they're the ones that, they're the ones that signed their lands over to the British. Yeah. Okay. This other region where, like, my people, they came from, they never signed anything with the British. They never signed anything with no white man. They kept their land.
But most
so what I'm saying, those people could be like, okay, you know what? Hey, you guys signed over your land to those people, so therefore you're subject to them. No, when you go around Africa, even the places they say they colonize, if you look at the whole country of Uganda, technically Uganda, you can't even say it's colonized. Uganda was a protectorate. They had the Buganda, they had their kingdoms.
You practice the indirect rule in most countries,
Jude, even in Cameroon, in the English part of Cameroon, it was indirect rule that the British were using. And
they just find a group of Africans and they work with them and they make them rich and powerful. That's all they did, man. It's not like that.
But I don't know what.
That's why I always disagree with people when people say you were colonized. I'm like, dude, not everybody really experienced that stuff, man. People always talk as if the British put gun on everybody's head and everybody just accepted it.
If your leadership capitulated to the demands of the British indirectly, and you guys, you hold your leadership highly. Can you imagine, like, the way you say sometimes, like, you view the Obas as like the most powerful people, whatever they say is final. And
to be really clear, to be really honest, guys, I think the way the Africans, not all, but most of the African empires, what they saw that the Europeans were doing was kind of like bringing something to them that they wanted.
No, let me tell you.
Wait. Elaborate on that, Mike.
Okay. Let me hold on. When the British or the Europeans were coming to Africa, like they were advancing a lot of industrialization and things like that.
It was more about trade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The trade and things they were trading. So the kingdom saw these things and they saw it as, whoa, this is advancement. But what the Europeans were presenting to them is that, hey, we can introduce this thing to you. We can introduce this information, this knowledge to you, kind of like that. So the kingdoms were like, yo, we need this. Come in. You understand? But whereas among the Europeans, they had different agenda in their mind. Like, okay, we're actually going to take this territory. Where the England saw it as me competing with France, competing with other Europeans as far as territory wise. But the Africans were not saying it like that. They were just saying it as, oh, this Englishman want to introduce their ways and their things, their advancements to us.
They were just
Mike, the argument you are making, right? The argument you're making is, okay, you're trying to convince us that, okay, when the British came, for example, I'll give you that these places had their own little their kingdoms. But now what you're trying to push, you're saying, okay, in Nigeria, if when the British left, you guys are now going back to the old kingdom lines. Pretty much you're going back to that. You see what I'm saying?
We didn't even have to go
because
back.
if that's true, if that's true, then Biafra should be its own country.
No, but Biafra is not a kingdom. What those?
You see what you're doing here, Mike?
Okay, who is Biafra? Break it down to me.
Well, the people that live in that region.
No, there's no region called Biafra. There is no tribe or region called Biafra.
Yeah, well,
Mike, they are Igbos. They are Igbos.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Biafra,
okay, go ahead, tell us.
No, explain.
That's the thing. You always want to be the one to be Nigerian expert over me. Like, I'm like, God damn, you know Nigerian more than I do. God damn, man.
No, but Mike, the point I'm trying to say is that we know Biafra is just like the movement of those groups. Why are you trying to do?
No, it's okay. Thank you. Biafra is not Igbo, and Biafra is not region. What happened was the Igbo people, they're located in the eastern part of Nigeria, and they're the majority there. So, because during that time they had a lot of number in the military, so they wanted to split Nigeria and they wanted to claim all the minority that surround them, because those minorities, that's where the oil in Nigeria is in their territory. Those tribes in Nigeria, the Ijaws, the Ogoni, the Efik, all of them. So Ojukwu, when he decided to create a new country, he now named the country Biafra.
Yeah, but it was the kingdom of Neri.
No.
In the ancient, when the British came, that young lion rod, that region was called that. It's close to Cameroon. And Ojukwu, like what you're saying, and I've read what he, according to his, there's videos of his videos. You can go watch it. You know what you saying and what Ojukwu saying his fight was. It's not the same thing, Mike.
Exactly, Mike. Let me tell you what
Mike doesn't understand. You're doing propaganda. Ojukwu was not fighting for what you're saying. Go ahead, Jude.
Let me tell you what Mike does not understand. It's what yeah, exactly. You see, it's what unfortunate that you have a It's what unfortunate that you have a Yoruba guy on the panel who thinks he is versed with Eastern Nigeria, but he has no clue, because it would be rather unfortunate for an Igbo guy to come here and tell you more into Yoruba. Look,
what the hell is this guy talking about?
No, okay, what the heck is it? Let me finish. The Eastern region.
Yeah.
See, if I ask you that the Biafran region, what part of Igbo are the Biafra? You're gonna tell me all the Eastern region are Biafran people, because the Biafra does not include South inside of it. You know that, right?
What?
Okay, my question is, if you talk of Biafra, what region occupies the Biafra people? Is the Eastern region, right?
There is no Biafran people.
I know, but if you talk of Biafra, the Eastern region
exist. Don't pretend, Mike.
Let's not play semantics, man, Mike.
Okay, let me use this analogy to break it down.
Mike.
What other planets, and you know that?
They exist, Mike. These people exist.
Abidamos, okay, is Biafra a tribe?
No,
it's not a tribe, but it's a group of people that occupies a particular region in Nigeria.
Abidamos, but it's a group of people. What are they called? Is it not an empire?
Okay, Mike. Let me give an example. For example, like Cameroon, like Ambazonia. It's a region. It's not a tribe.
But that's
So it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
let's
Wait, wait.
Ambazonia,
Okay.
Ambazonia is not even Ambazonia is not even a region in Cameroon. The Ambazonia is like, okay, maybe you can call me an Ambazonian because I'm from the English part of Cameroon. The same way you can call an Igbo person a Biafra because he's from that part. But the Ambazonia region is divided between the southwest and the northwest, which is what makes up Cameroon. So, but in another form, they can say Ambazonian. So, I take it.
Okay, Africa,
Go
let me
ahead.
explain Biafra to you. Let me
Chiku,
explain
hop on the
Biafra to
live
you.
and explain the struggle of your people. Hop on the live. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, Africa, let me explain Biafra to you. Okay. In the United States, there's Texas, right? Right?
Sure.
Let's say Texas people decided, because we are the largest states in this area, they decided we want to create our own country. And they now invade Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, and saying we're all Biafrans now. And those people are like, hell no, I'm not with your shit. And they decided, because we are so huge, you have to be Biafran. So the Igbo people decided to invade those minority ethnic group around them, those areas in the Niger Delta, when some of these tribes are even more closer to the Yorubas and even them. They invaded them and claimed their territory and said we want to create a new country called Biafra. And the reason why Ojukwu did that, because during that time, they have more Igbos in the Nigerian army. So they felt like we can go to war.
And the oil.
Because of the oil there, exactly.
Let's just say it.
Exactly.
The oil.
So that's what I'm telling you that there's no
money,
It's about the money. Ojukwu feels like, look, this is our area, our region. We should benefit. You know, this is our people. We should be our own country.
They're not the same people. They're not the same people.
Okay, do you want to tell me, like Ambazonia, they are all the same tribe? They're not the same tribe, but they are from that area.
Those people that decided to call themselves Ambazonia, they came together to call themselves.
But they are not the same tribe. They're not all from the same tribe.
I'm not saying they have, oh Lord have mercy. Calm down.
No, the people in the Eastern region call themselves Biafra because they came together.
The only people that call themselves Biafra and Igbos. If you call like
but the
Biafra, they'll punch you in the face.
What region are the Igbo in? In the eastern region of Nigeria.
Anyway, if the Igbos want to separate, I mean, why disagree though? Like,
no one disagree with Igbo separated. They never call for themselves to separate. In fact, the government offered them to leave alone, but they say no.
No, Mike, that's not true, Mike.
Afridamos.
Mike, that's not true. Mike, Nigeria cannot afford to allow these people to have their own country. Come on, Mike.
Why not?
Mike, they have the oil resources there.
No, the Igbos don't have the oil. The Igbos don't have the oil resources. It's the minority, the Ijaws, the Efik, the Shakiris, the Christians. They're the one that own the oil, not the Igbos.
I think Judah knows Nigeria better than Mike.
The Igbos don't own the oil.
Listen. Mike is an American, man. He's American. He doesn't live
the owner of the oil are the South people, the minorities in the South. The two majority in the South are the Yorubas and the Igbos. The rest of them we call them the Niger Delta people. They are the minority.
Let me make this point, right? Let me make this point. What Mike is calling people a minority is that you go to Yoruba land, right? Not everybody in Lagos, I mean, they call Yoruba, but you still have minority tribes inside Yoruba land.
There is no minority tribe inside Yoruba. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, come on. I was talking to a friend that is from Ekiti. He said their Yoruba is different from a Yoruba person in Lagos.
Our dialect is different, but we are all Yoruba people, you dumbass.
Yeah, but he said that's okay.
No, are you saying the Igbos and the Ijaws are the same people?
They are the same people. Are you kidding me?
You're dumb as fuck, man. This guy's dumb as hell.
No.
The Ijaws are even closer to the Yorubas.
Guys, one mic.
Mike, let me
finish.
Can
the Nigerian come in and educate this guy, please? Can even an Igbo come in and educate your ass?
Mike, I'm from Ambazonia, right? And that part of Ambazonia used to be in the same region house of assembly with Cross River.
Oh, so are you all Igbo
and all this? Let me finish.
Dumbass, man.
We kind of speak the same. We kind of have similar cultures. If you go on YouTube and type in
Ambazonia, we all have similar culture in southern Nigeria. What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't know anything because you are not from this part of.
Are you stupid? Are you gonna keep telling me I don't know anything about the southern Nigeria? Are you dumb?
Mike,
I'm from the southern Nigeria. You telling me I don't know anything?
No,
Mike,
this guy is so dumb, man. Are you kidding me?
Mike, you have no clue. Mike, You have no clue with
I have no
Southeastern
clue.
Nigeria and
I have
Ambazonia.
no clue
Come
about
on, man.
Nigeria.
I'm telling you about my own culture. You want to put me down?
Yeah, but
Dude, you're
Mike,
Come
from
on, man. Keep
Cameroon, man.
quiet.
You telling me I have no clue about Nigeria?
No,
Are you
Mike,
I'm
you're
stupid?
in
from
Cameroon, but
Cameroon,
we used to
man.
be in the same Eastern Regional House of Assembly
In
with Igbo
1940s.
people and Ijo people. So you see, an Ijo man is more closer to me than a Yoruba person. It takes me 5 minutes to cross into a but it takes you close to 6 hours for you to drive. What the heck are you talking about?
So what is your point? What is your point?
My
These are
point
all the
is,
points over here.
my point is, we are the same. We speak similar languages with Igbo people. I
Really?
can even understand some of
Really?
their languages. So the government of Nigeria
Your
decided to
language is
split.
similar to Igbo language?
Mike, let me finish.
Jude, your language is
Mike, let
similar
me
to Igbo
finish.
language?
The government of Nigeria decided to split the Igbo people into South and Eastern Nigeria because of politics reason, because of economic reason.
These guys are dumb, man.
Just to divide
Ahmed Amos, get
just
up.
to
Look,
These
divide.
guys are
look, I
dumb.
think
Let's
just
move
like
forward, man. Let's move on.
FBA Young Lion said, he said, Mike is from Lagos, Texas.
Man, Mike, we all know you're American. Man. Why are you acting like you're an expert on Nigeria, man? Why
Who?
you?
Who?
We know we grew up for the most part in
But
America.
no, but you guys, Mike was making a point, right?
No,
I
Mike
wanted
is
to
an
hear him
expert
finish
in
this.
Yoruba politics. He's an
Wait.
expert in Yoruba politics, not
No,
in
Mike,
Nigerian
hold
politics.
on. Mike was saying something that I wanted him to finish. He was talking about when the British, how they organized the stuff in Nigeria, because he eventually agreed. Because Mike, you have to remember, like the British administration, their administration, right? So they joined because at one point, because they have Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Gambia. So they put those under the same administration. So they were running these places the same way, right?
Not really the same way.
Mike, it was the same way. They used the same system. Go read it. It's the same. It's the same system. Even at one point, they would have like their governor. Governor will be in Ghana that would run, all this, or in Lagos or in Freetown. This is how they were running it. You can literally go read this. Where this one governor, like the governor would be like in Freetown, he would be in charge of,
The
like
governor was the one that was controlling
Yeah,
the kingdom.
you can say they were more like regarded as extension of the British Empire.
Okay, Mike. Okay, did you then? If it wasn't run the same thing, how come they were taking like their people, the Africans? They quote unquote saying they were educating the Nigerians, the people from their territories. They call all the way Gambia. They would take them to Nigeria to teach them the administration there, or to Ghana, or to England. They would group them together and take them. Because it's the same system. They want them to run on the same system. So
Exactly.
I get it. If you are saying Nigerians, even sure, the British came, the other territories did not, catch on. They don't want to be, part of the system that everyone is on today. They want to go back to their old kingdoms. That's what I wanted you to clear. So if you say they want to go to their old kingdom, then why did they deny Ojukwu and his people to be their own country then? Mike, are you there?
Mike is not gonna tell you, man. He has won. Ask him
He's there, man. He's
why a
typing.
Yoruba person is. Ask him why a Yoruba
No,
person
I
is
was
Benin.
sending someone a message real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so put that question in a nutshell. Like you say, how come what?
Oh man, come on, Mike, come on, man.
No, I heard the explanation, but the last part you said, I didn't get.
So you said that pretty much you were saying, okay, they had different kingdoms.
Okay.
In Nigeria.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, okay, this in Nigeria is difficult because Judah broke it down. It's not like the United States where any white man from anywhere can be president. Like it doesn't matter if they're from Texas, if they're from New Mexico, if they can win, they can be president. No one is going to be like, nah, this is this person. So what you're saying, in Nigeria, they have to please different, tribes or region, for example. So that means they never caught on to this modern system of country we have. So I'm saying if that's the case, then why wouldn't they allow? Didn't they allow Ojukwu to establish Biafra?
Okay, they won't allow Ojukwu to establish Biafra because Ojukwu is not. Is Biafra is not its own empire. It's including other empires like the Ijo kingdoms, the Efik kingdoms, the other kingdoms. He's trying to include them. And he's trying to bring them into this new country he's trying to form. And those ones didn't agree, and they even fought against him. So it's more of a conquest move. You understand? So that's why the state fought against him.
And let me also help Mike.
So
on
the
this one too.
Ojukwu move was the conquest. You
Let me also
understand?
help-
Because what, dude, can you calm, Lord, man?
I want to help
Chill
you
out,
on this
dude.
one too. I
Stop
want to
cutting
help
me
you on
off,
this.
dude.
I want to help you on this one too.
I'm answering his question. Let me finish answering it before you come in. Ojukwu invaded the Niger Delta, invaded the Midwest, was invading all the other kingdom and occupying them and declaring them as Biafran territory. Ojukwu is Igbo. You can go invade Benin, even invaded Benin Kingdom, even invaded part of Yoruba land. Everywhere there's the oil well, he just invaded it because he thought he was so powerful. The Igbo was so powerful because they were majority in the military, most of the officers. And he just wanted to conquer all those areas. When he succeeded in invading those areas, occupied it, that's when he declared it as Biafran Republic. And then the states fought against him to liberate those areas. And after those areas were liberated, and they had to invade Igbo land to finish conquering him, to defeat him. So that's what Biafra is. So why would they allow him to declare a country when the people you are trying to claim within a country don't agree with it? They will fight against him. So that's the difference. So if Ojukwu has said, we the Igbos, the Igbo kingdom, the Erie kingdom, which are the Igbos, want to have their own country separately, that would have been a different argument. It would have been a different case.
Yeah,
You understand now, Afridamos?
Yeah, and also if they
And also, right, yeah.
And also, if they allow them to separate, other nations are going to want to separate themselves too from the broader.
They won't really matter at that time.
Well, Mike, what Mike is saying, Mike, that's not realistic. Like, because okay, the old territories you're talking about, like that's not gonna happen.
What do you mean the whole territory? What's that?
Because the way you are describing it, that means okay, yes, the British left, so these people went back to the old system where it's like different separate territories.
Not entirely. What we did was this. When the British left, right, a lot of the major kingdoms came together, kind of like the meeting during constitutional. So what we did was we're like, okay, we're gonna do in a region where some kingdoms are gonna come together and form one region, right? And then so we started with 3 regions, but within the constitution, we now agree that okay, we're going to start with 3 regions, 3 areas, right? And within those 3 regions, they're going to be kingdoms. However, within those kingdoms, regions, if kingdoms disagree among themselves, they can use referendum to create another region, right? So when they left, we started with 3 regions, the entire northern Nigeria, right? They became northern region, and then we had a western region and the eastern region, right? Now the western region included the Yoruba Empire with the present-day Edo State and Delta states, which are the part of the Niger Delta today, the minorities from that part of the river. And then we have the eastern region, which include the Igbos, the Efik, and all these other minority tribes.
The Efik are not in the eastern region. The Efik have been split into 2
hold
halves
on,
in
I'm going
south.
there. I know what you're saying.
Come on, man.
Including, can you calm down, please? Including the English part of Cameroon that used to be part of Nigeria. That was also included as
the place that is Ambazonia today.
Yeah. It was part of the eastern region of Nigeria, which is what Jude is trying to argue. But with them, with the English part of Cameroon, what happened was when the British were leaving, they said, oh, they used to be part of Cameroon, that they don't want to longer be part of Nigeria. So they broke away from the eastern region of Nigeria and went to join Cameroon because they were under the German colony before the British and the French defeated Germany. And
right.
when the British claimed them, they included them in Nigeria. But when the British were leaving, the Cameroonians, those English Cameroonians where Jude is from, they went back to Cameroon. So now Nigeria now remain 3 regions: the north, the west, and the east. So what happened was we started discovering oil in the south. And where the oil was being discovered was among the minorities across the Niger Delta. So the minorities started agitating that, okay, in this south, those of us in the West, the Ishakiri, the Benin, the Urubu, all of them, they said, oh, we want to, and the Yorubas are dominating us. So we want to come together and form a new region, a new state. And the constitution allowed them to do a referendum to do it. So they, among themselves, did a referendum, and they all voted, okay, we're going to create a new state and have the Yoruba stand alone. And they're going to have a new region called the Midwestern region. So now, we now went from 3 to 4 region now. So that's the West now broke into 2. The Midwest region and the West, now the Yoruba land became the Western region. So the Yorubas are now alone. So now, after that, then in the East, where the Igbos are the dominant, the minorities there decided to say, oh, we want to do the same thing. We want to come together and create as all minorities, so that way the Igbo will not dominate us because they have the most population. We're going to create our own region now, apart from the Igbos, because they, just like the minorities in the West came together to separate from the Yoruba. So when those guys came together to do that, that's when the Igbos were like, no, we're not going to allow it, because the oil well they discovered is in your territory. So now, because the constitution will allow them to do it, as it was about to happen, that's when the Igbo military officer now did a military coup and took over the country and decided that, okay, we're going to end this regional stuff, that we're just going to be one country and become one system. You understand?
So Mike, that means from a way back, what you're saying, you've debunked your own statement, because that means Nigeria, the place called Nigeria, they have always been recognized. The people there in charge have finally they broke away from the old kingdom. They recognize it as one country.
Yeah, but they were practicing. Yeah. But they were governing.
It's recognized as one country.
It's recognized, but the regions were governing themselves independently. So it was kind of like kingdoms, because we have so many ethnic groups, and we have some that are large and some are very small. So when the British left, all the kingdoms were like, whoa, we can have 500 different countries. So we have to find a way to form some kingdoms together to be one.
Well, the British trained them before they left. So So this was recognized. This was from day one. It was recognized. The people in charge, they recognized it as one country, sir.
Yeah, but honestly, when the British were leaving, the many part, like for example, the northern region, were like, nah, they really don't want to share country with this, because the southern people are very modern, Western, and non-Islamic. But the north is extremely Islamic, and they feel like, nah, this is not going to work. You understand? And also, when the British were in Nigeria, they didn't really introduce a Western culture to the north, or even Western education to the north. That's why I think today you see more Southern Nigerians. They're very well educated and very Western educated than the north. Like the gap is very different, man. If you go to Southern Nigeria and Northern Nigeria, you can see a clear difference. The Southerners are very Westernized English.
Mike, you are using the word Westernized, but before on another panel, you were telling me why do they call it Western education? Why do they say
that? But that's a different argument, though. No, the North have embraced Islamic education. Not that they not.
Mike, you gotta make up your mind.
I'm talking about the word Westernized that you are using. On another panel, you say, but what is this Western education anyway? That they call it Western education.
No, to me, education is education, but for the sake of the argument,
not true. Mike, what Judah is saying here, I have even heard you say this before. I'm shocked you saying education is education. You always slam down, you always debunk and slam the white people's education.
No, if we want to get into the technical,
but like what Judah is saying, you deny. But I have heard you say this.
I've said it. But no, listen, if you're having conversation with people, you speak in their language, the way they understand things, right? If I hold on now, if I say that, it's not a figure of speech. But if I have to get into the technicality of it, to me, education is nothing but acquisition of knowledge. So you can attribute education to an entire people.
So then why do you say the Northerners? Why do you say the Northerners are not educated? They learn Arabic.
No, exactly. They are exactly. So I said they didn't embrace it. When I say Western, I mean like more like their language and their philosophy, Western philosophy. Like British philosophy, everybody have their own philosophy,
So,
but
so
it
they're
doesn't mean
educated in their own way, right?
exactly everyone is educated, man. The Northerners are educated, very smart, but
So
they
if they
more.
embrace the Arabic, are they not educated?
Huh?
The
Yeah,
Yeah,
Arabs.
I didn't say they're not educated, too, man.
But you were saying the Northerners are not educated, but they
No,
can
they're
read in
not
Arabic.
Western philosophical education. When I say education, I'm talking about the philosophy.
You can learn about philosophy in Arabic language.
Well, not, Afridamus, when they say someone's philosophy, it doesn't mean general philosophy. Like, for example, the Chinese, when I say philosophy, it's more like
their way
indoctrination
of
of people, a
their way
societal
of
indoctrination.
thinking.
So are you going to
Mike,
use the same
So let's
terminology
not,
for Chinese saying they are not westernized?
and
Are you
that's where
going to
I'm
say
going.
that?
That's why I mentioned Chinese. Like, for example, the
Oh
Chinese
wow.
way of form of education.
So
It's,
Nigerians in the south are more westernized than Chinese.
dude, I don't give a shit what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm asking you a question because you said the Southerners are westernized. So are they
Okay,
more westernized than Chinese people?
let me ask you this.
but Mike, answer
When we
his
use the word
question.
West, where are we
No,
talking
answer
about?
my question. I just asked you a question. Are the Southern Nigerians more westernized than the Chinese?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
You don't know
Oh
that?
wow.
The
No, I mean,
Afridamus, are you more westernized than the Chinese society?
Oh, if that was he's an American man.
I'm an
You don't think
individual.
so? Afridamus,
Yeah.
Judah, you don't think
After
you're
that
more
was
westernized than the Chinese?
even in Gambia, after that was viewed as a Western black man.
Afridamus, am I wrong? Afridamus,
I'm
am I
talking
wrong?
about Nigerians, Southern Nigerians westernized. Are you kidding me? This guy, man.
Afridamus,
It's just
Afridamus,
Mike,
Afridamus, are you not more westernized than
hold on.
Chinese?
But Mike, I would be a terrible example. Come on, Mike, you know this.
Uh,
The Chinese are not
Mike,
All
westernized.
right, no,
Mike, you
Mike.
know how they
I obviously lived
they are.
most of my life in a westernized country, Western system. So I wouldn't be a good example, sir.
They are
No, I'm
Western
saying
in some kind
Gambia.
of
I'm
way.
saying Gambian society.
Can you do you think the Gambian society operate like me?
Oh
No,
no.
or
no,
like
no, no, no.
Chinese.
Hold on. The former.
Mike, I've stayed in America longer than in Gambia.
No, I'm not talking
So
about you. Afridamus, when I say
I'm not
you,
a good
Afridamus,
example.
I
Even
don't mean
Mike
you as an
himself have
individual.
stayed in
Hold on now.
America longer
Hold
than
on. I'm
Nigeria.
not saying you as an individual. I'm saying is Gambia as a society. Are you more westernized than the Chinese?
Hell
I've
no.
never,
Come
I've
on,
hell
man.
no.
There's no possible Southern
Gambians in general, they
westernized
are
than
not
the Chinese, man.
westernized. They are not
Uh,
westernized. They are African.
but to some degree, though.
But
Nah,
Do
nah.
you consume?
Western
Okay. Do
countries.
you consume more Western culture than the Chinese do?
Do we what?
Do Gambian society consume more Western culture than the Chinese do?
No,
I've never
Western.
been. Mike,
Are
This
you
guy is talking
serious? Are you
about
serious?
I've never been to China. I would assume the Chinese do.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
tell you how you're more westernized. The Chinese, they write in a Chinese way.
Oh, jeez, Mike.
Hold
In
on,
China, there's
hold
way
on.
more English speakers in China than even England. Do you know that?
in
More
Africa.
English speakers in China than in England.
Yes.
So just
But
because they write in
what's the dominant language in China? Let's go by
no,
the.
just because
Well,
they write in their language.
they speak Mandarin and you know
and also
there
some
are other
languages.
there are other languages. There's different ethnic groups, but just Google this. There's way more English speakers in China than even England.
What's the dominant culture in China? Is it the Western culture or the Chinese culture?
Well, Mike, you just
Oh,
answered you've just
well, let's
answered
not
your
get into it,
question.
man.
But Mike, you just answered your own question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
Why?
gotta go, man. I
You
gotta
know,
go. Can
you
you do this,
said
man?
Chinese. When you say Chinese, that answered the entire question. Why would the Western culture be more dominant in a China line?
Hey, exactly. So you agree with me there? You disagree with Judah here? Judah, are you
No,
saying
you
now
are
the
the one
Chinese
that
are more
is proud
French?
of being
Judah,
westernized.
are
Come
you
on,
saying the
Mike.
Chinese are more French than the Cameroonians?
Are we talking? You are talking about westernized. We are not talking about more English than that. So are you
It is
telling me
part
you
of
guys are more
westernization,
English
man.
speaking?
France is part of the West.
yeah, but everybody's westernized in some way. The way of dressing,
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
philosophy. There's
So
some
What does westernized come with?
your system
Western
is
influence.
French, and you're saying you're no more
Yeah,
westernized than the
but
Chinese.
even in China,
No, Mike, you
their
are
way of
shifting the
dressing.
discussion.
There's
Yeah, but the
nobody
way
not
of
westernized in Cameroon. They're fighting over English and French. And
yeah,
these
Mike,
but
guys
Mike,
are still
Mike, don't change the topic. Mike, don't change the topic now.
yeah, but I think that was in all honesty, like look at the way of dressing, even Western education, Western style education, science and technology. I mean, the
no
Western
science and
started.
technology is not western. It's everybody,
I mean,
man. Chinese,
it
everybody
was
got science and
spearheaded by
technology.
them. Oh, please, man, it was spearheaded by them, man.
No, it
And
was not. It was not.
oh
They
man,
learn. They pick it from everywhere. The writing, everything. They learn from everywhere. They put it together. Come on, doesn't
Mike,
belong to
when the
them.
white man came to Nigeria, Nigeria were still dressing in leaves. Come on, Mike. You know that.
and he want to say
Bro,
that
we were wearing clothes in my empire, dude. We been wearing clothes
Oh,
before
what
Cameroonians didn't
empire?
wear clothes.
no, he want to say
Your empire was already advanced before the white man came. So don't
he
Wait,
want
forget
to
what you're
say
Mike.
talking about.
Wait, Mike. I think you trust Mike. Are you trolling tonight?
We've been
man,
advanced before. We were more. We've been advanced before the white man
he
came.
want to
So
say he
Wait,
can never.
Mike. Then what happened? You're in the 21st century. Why are you so
Exactly.
behind?
Why is so
behind
behind?
in what sense?
Man, everything.
Do people look to Nigeria for technology and all this advancement?
Behind culturally, or you talking
No,
about?
answer my question. Do people, if
Man,
you're
forget about
thinking,
culture, man. Culture is
um, the civilization, technology, advancement is Nigeria. Does Nigeria come to people's mind?
oh no, man. Most African countries wouldn't even come to mind.
Companies, productivity. That's different.
Even in Africa, people will look to
But
South
we're talking
Africa.
about, to me,
People will look to South Africa before Nigeria. Let's just
Africa
be
was
real.
Exactly.
where you define someone being civilized has to do with your mentality, your
I
cultural.
didn't say civilized. I'm saying,
But
you know,
Africa most. You want to tell me the rednecks in America, those guys, those hillbillies, they are very civilized.
Yeah, about the generality of the country, the generality. Yeah, about the overall country in itself is small.
yeah,
You
Come
understand?
on,
yeah,
man.
like
It's just companies. It's companies that are going to
I'm
research.
an American, an
It's not
American.
people. Are you saying that Americans are so advanced? Every American citizen is so intelligent and advanced?
oh,
Come on.
here we go. Here we
Is
go.
that
Yeah,
what you're telling
man,
me? It's
Mike.
just
So,
companies and institutions that are advanced, man. It's
Mike,
not like it.
Mike, 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 it
Mike.
might not be every American, right? But America as a collective, as a nation. Come on, buddy. Let's just be real. Like,
Yeah, Africa must,
are you going to sit here and try to make the argument that I think that America is not advanced? People, when they think advancement, America is not what comes to mind.
Like a lot of people.
no. You said American companies is what comes to
No,
mind.
I didn't
That's
say
Oh
companies. I'm
man.
saying America as a
Yeah, but
country.
American companies.
the companies are the ones that transforms the country, though.
Exactly, but you can't sit down and say the people.
Oh, but
Mike,
they have overwhelming influence on the people, Mike. We can
Dude, there's
tell
difference
that.
between companies, government,
But
and
they
the
have
people.
okay.
If the Oyo State was so great, why isn't it still in existence? And why are
It's
you
still in
in?
existence. We're there. We're there,
Why
man.
are you in Texas, sir?
Why am I in Texas? Afidamos,
Yeah,
what's the
and
relevance?
these rednecks you talk about, they have some
Afidamos, in China,
you're
wait,
using
Afidamos.
some invention, you're using some stuff. It was created by rednecks. I guarantee you that. No, I really do.
Afidamos,
I don't know what's your idea of a redneck is.
you ask
You
irrelevant
probably live
questions.
in some houses around the city. It was built by rednecks.
Anyone can build a house in these days, man. Come on
Are
now.
you kidding me? Really?
Are you saying people that building house in Gambia? I mean, are you building a house in
Oh,
Gambia, ain't you? Those laborers you hire in Gambia, they not Gambia.
Mike, Mike, we've had this conversation
Well,
before.
anyway, let me leave you guys alone. I gotta go, man. I gotta go.
yeah.
Man,
Well,
Mike,
we're gonna be.
man,
Let's do before you leave. Let's do our closing statements. We
no, you gotta
almost.
give him the tap dancing
You,
video,
you,
man.
you gotta give
Mike,
Zongo the tap dancing. Well, I'll see you guys later, man.
you gotta give, you gotta.
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man. Boy, he got educated feet.
Man, Mike, Mike is always a brother of the platform. He has an interesting. I mean, sometimes he speaks highly about the need for economic growth and development within African countries. But for some reason today, his talking point was completely disagreeing with his
I,
previous
I know
one.
it's crazy. Like, I mean, I'm confused. Like, because remember, he makes the argument to debunk white people's education system as fake and all that. But I'm just confused. But guys, let's do our
He
closing
has
statements here.
he has lived in America far more than most Nigerians. Hey, just like the way you went to Gambia, and most Gambians view you as a Western black. I'm sure Mike, when he goes to Nigeria, they're probably gonna view him like, man, who's this
Of
American?
course,
So he's gonna come here and pretend to us like, oh, Nigeria's like this and that. But someone from the outside doing analysis of Nigeria, he cares nothing.
when he goes there, they'll call him an akata.
Akata. Oh yeah. Especially Ghana, man. He's gonna call him Akata, man. Especially with the way he's gonna dress. He's gonna call him
Yeah,
Akata, right? So I
right.
mean, we're gonna come here and deflect. Say, oh, they have great empires, man. Come on, man.
Well,
You know,
shout out to him. He didn't, at least he came and joined
yeah,
the group. Guys, let's do
exactly.
our closings. Zongo, you go first, then we have Jude.
I mean, in a nutshell, I think it was a great talk show today. I'm not gonna say much. I think is there a possibility of military coup occurring in Nigeria? Of course, yeah. There's always a possibility. Anything can happen. You know, it's just always gonna wish for the best. But other than that, I would say it was a great show today.
Thank you, Zongo. Jude, go ahead, Jude.
Um, Mike came to. A lot of people came to. Was very flabbergasted with Mike's point of view, especially on the way he beat around the bush when it comes to pertinent issues in Nigeria. He did great. He's always been like that. I've known him for a while, so nothing has changed. But looking at Nigeria the way it is from a political mindset or a glance on Nigeria, you could see that the regions breaking down in Nigeria is based on tribes. The eastern region is dominated by the Igbo people, the Biafra. There is no minority in between. There you go to the southwest. When they talk of southwest, it's typically run by Yoruba group. You go to the south is run by Ijaw and Efik people and probably part of Ibibio people. You go to the north. When they talk of the north, they talk of the Fulanis and the Hausas. So if a country is breaking down into regions based on tribes, and then that is causing more problems. Because if you go to Cameroon, our regions, in a region, you could find like over 50 tribes in one region. So you don't have the monopole of saying, oh, this is my region, because there are a lot of tribes in that region with over 256 tribes in Cameroon. So every region is having at least 80 tribes in that region. I want to thank Mike for showing up. I'm not going to say much, but it was a nice platform. And I wish once in a while you have ideologies, you have people with geopolitics coming on this panel and really
Mm-hmm.
talking a lot about Africa as a whole, not only Nigeria, but,
Oh yeah,
African
most
countries as well.
definitely. No, we would touch all of it because the conversations are important, and I'm glad we exchange ideas. It's not like the usual where people quote unquote saying they're throwing dust at each other, because there's many people that are watching or coming to watch later. They
Right.
definitely appreciate these conversations, because people learn
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
ideas that are exchanged here. But thank you
Today,
so
as
much,
we
Jude. You
No
brought you
problem.
brought
Today,
you brought the point in, Jude.
oh, no problem. Today, as we speak, the president of the African Union now was given to, I think he took over from the president of Senegal. So he's now the president of Mauritania, who is the
Who?
president of the African Union.
Okay.
So, it's rather unfortunate that we don't know where the African Union is going. Few days ago, we saw the Congolese people in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, in the African Union Center, talking about how African Union does not actually know the problems that is happening in Africa. So yeah, I mean, things have to change, man. If not, and then we are finding ourselves into more jungle forest and a deep hole. But thank you, Afidemos, and I'll say goodbye and have a good day,
Th-
man.
Thank you, Jude. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I mean, this is two in a row today. The discussion was great. Thanks for coming. And MS Delta, thank you for sponsoring the show, the super chats, and all of you that are watching. Mike, thanks for being a good sport. You didn't run away till the end. But I will see you guys on the next one. All right, I'm out. Peace.
Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I been all on my grind, so why I need you? Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I been all on my grind, so why I need you? Big flex, my swole up, double cup and I'm pulled up.